Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Chapter 71. Gods of Destruction Champa's Challenge, Son Goten, I challenge. He already knew the breath of Lord Gods of Destruction Champa and couldn't be more clear. And Sister Vados. Among the 12 universes, the 6th universe is the one that communicates with the 7th universe. Oh, what's going on? Was it an earthquake just now? After Klin stood up, he scratched his head, and a spire-shaped blood bubble was directly knocked out on his big bald head. And this familiar scene did not make Son Goten feel any surprise. Because just now, he felt two powerful breaths of God. One of them is very similar to Gods of Destruction Beerus, while the other breath is very similar to Whis. Obviously, it must be the Gods of Destruction Champa and Angel Vados of the 6th universe who suddenly descended on the planet Gods of Destruction. In the Dragon Ball Super original book, except for these two who have been to the Gods of Destruction world of the 7th universe, no other Gods of Destruction has been here. So, what's going on? Why are you two not talking? Keelan looked at Son Goten and Whis, feeling even more puzzled. Didn't both of them feel the shock just now? And at this moment, Beerus' violent voice also sounded. Whis, what the hell are you doing, you bastard? The irritable sound was accompanied by a violent explosion. Rumble. The temple was directly blasted with a gap, and Beerus flew out wearing his light blue pajamas. It's just that this guy obviously didn't wake up, and looked around sleepily. But soon his eyes were locked outside the door. Because he felt a familiar breath. That's right, this smell is still as annoying as ever. At this time, Beerus also rushed out of the gate directly by relying on getting up. The moment the door was blasted open with an energy wave, the Champa outside the door was almost blown away. Fortunately, this guy is also agile enough to dodge, 793. However, his face was still darkened by the energy wave. Hey Skinny, you guys are actually going to die, it's a bit too much. Champa cursed at Beerus with a dark face. Although the two of them are not in harmony on weekdays. But after all, they are brothers whose blood is thicker than water. I didn't expect this guy to make such a big fuss as soon as we met, and almost sent him away. Unacceptable. Who are you? Looking at the dark-faced Gods of Destruction Champa, Beerus scratched his nose and asked knowingly. Asshole, I'm Champa. Champa forcibly suppressed the anger in her heart, and said to Beerus. Although this guy looks very proud now. But after a while, I will let him feel the hopelessness that is beyond redemption. Because this time I brought my secret weapon, which is the most delicious food in the 6th universe. After Beerus eats this delicacy, he will be absolutely speechless. After thinking of this, most of the anger in my heart disappeared. Oh, so it's Champa, why did you become such a ghost? Also, why don't you stay in your own 6th universe and come to my 7th universe? Beerus asked with a cold face. Although they are brothers, they have always been at odds with each other. Millions of years ago, they would fight if they disagreed. But since Master Zeno banned fighting among Gods of Destruction, they never fought again. It's just that the later contest was replaced by a contest between delicacies. After all, both of their brothers are typical foodies. Chi. Champa showed an extremely wretched smile. Then he said proudly, the purpose of my visit this time is naturally to let you taste the real gourmet food of our 6th universe. Let you understand that our 6th universe is the real gourmet kingdom. Cut. Beerus casts a dismissive glance at Champa. In previous gourmet competitions, the 6th universe and the 7th universe were almost tied. Because the two universes are extremely similar, the distribution of universes and the planets are very similar. Therefore, the cuisine between the two universes is also similar. But now, he discovered the real gourmet kingdom of the earth. So now in the food competition, he has absolute confidence. Stop laughing Champa, what delicacies can you have in your 6th universe? But since you're here, I'll let you taste the delicacies of our 7th universe. After Beerus' faint voice fell, he turned back to the temple. Gods of Destruction Champa and Angel Vados are also close behind. After seeing Gods of Destruction Champa and Angel Vados, Keelan's face suddenly showed incredible surprise. What? Why does that guy look so much like Lord Beerus? There's also the woman next to her, whose appearance and dress are 70% similar to Whis. Goten, do you know about their relationship? Keelan lowered his voice and asked Son Goten. Although Goten was also born on the earth, and hadn't left the earth much before. But he always felt that Goten knew a lot. He even felt that Goten knew guys like Gods of Destruction and Angel very thoroughly. It looks like that fat man should be Lord Beerus' brother. As for the girl who looks similar to Whis, it should be his sister Ba. Perhaps they are Gods of Destruction and angels from other universes. Son Goten said lightly. Of course, he spoke to Kling speculatively. After all, if you say it too surely, it will make Whis doubt himself. Who? Goten, your guess is really accurate. The one who looks similar to Lord Beerus is indeed Lord Gods of Destruction Champa from the 6th universe. As for the one behind him, he is an angel like me, and he is my sister Vados. After hearing Son Goten's speculation, Whis was also a little surprised. But soon he opened his mouth and explained to the two of them. After all, in his opinion, Son Goten and Keelan are already his apprentices. And there is no need to hide this well-known relationship from the two of them. 6th Universe Gods of Destruction. Clint had a puzzled look on his face again. Because he had no concept of universe before. I always thought that there was only one universe. And Gods of Destruction Beerus is the most powerful existence in this world. But I didn't expect that there would be a brother of Gods of Destruction Beerus, also Gods of Destruction. And also the Gods of Destruction of the 6th universe. This seemed to be completely beyond his expectations. At this time, Son Goten turned his attention to Vados. Her outfit is exactly the same as in Dragon Ball Super. Angel uniform with dark green and black, holding angel staff in hand. His expression was cold and proud, with a long silver ponytail. His facial features and figure were almost perfect. I have to say that Vados looks really good. The only downside is that Son Goten can't appreciate his light blue complexion. Then when Son Goten admired Vados, Vados and Champa had already walked in front of them. Long time no see, sister. Whis also greeted Vados very politely. After all, Vados was his own sister. And among so many angels, the two of them should have the best relationship. Well, long time no see. Whis. Vados also had a sweet smile on his face, and said to Whis. After finishing speaking, he looked curiously at Son Goten and Keelan beside him. Then he asked, are these two humans apprentices accepted by Lord Beerus? Or, is it the Gods of Destruction candidate selected by your 7th universe? After asking, Vados looked at Son Goten and Keelan curiously. That little bald head with no nose didn't seem to be anything special. But another little guy, there seems to be a powerful force hidden in his body. And vaguely, I can feel something familiar. Although surprised, but soon relieved. Since these two guys can go to the Gods of Destruction world for training. Then it must be Whis who trained them. After all, he knew Lord Beerus very well. The degree of laziness is not weaker than Mr. Champa. And even more lethargic than Mr. Champa. Almost a hands-off shopkeeper. So it's no surprise that there's something familiar about the body. Yes, it is. Both of them are disciples of Master Beerus. If you perform well, you may become a candidate for Lord Beerus. Whis didn't hide it either, but nodded directly and said. After all, in many universes, many Gods of Destruction have already started looking for candidates for themselves. It's pretty good. Vados looked at Son Goten again, smiled and said. Wah ha ha ha, is Beerus skinny sleeping stupid? I actually found such two idiots as my candidates. I don't think they have a little bit of power. Gods of Destruction Champa taunted mercilessly as he watched Son Goten and Klin move slowly because of their weight suits. I didn't expect that skinny Beerus to degenerate like this. These two mascots were chosen to be candidates for their universe Gods of Destruction. Lord Champa, don't judge people by their cover. Our candidates for Gods of Destruction after the 6th universe may not be as good as them. Vados reminded in a soft tone. The little guy with the hedgehog hairstyle in front of him will definitely not be too weak in future achievements. Son Goten didn't take Gods of Destruction Champa's taunt seriously at all. This stuff is Gods of Destruction anyway. What's more, he is Beerus' blood brother. Although they seem to quarrel a lot on weekdays, the friendship between brothers is not very good. So it's best not to conflict with Gods of Destruction unless necessary. Especially Gods of Destruction Champa. If he wants to ridicule a few words, let him ridicule a few words. Anyway, I don't feel pain. A few minutes later, everyone had already reached the hall of the temple. The story is just like what happened in Dragon Ball Super. Champa started showing off their 6th universe's gourmet egg dong dong. Then he was easily suppressed by Beerus with a bucket of instant noodles. Next, it was Champa who challenged Beerus. Hey Beerus, do you dare to compete with me? If I win, then your 7th universe's Earth will belong to our 6th universe. If you lose, I will give you all the 6 super wishing beads I collected before. After tasting the gourmet food of the Earth, Champa also began to think about the Earth. If you can take the Earth of the 7th universe as your own, then they can eat the best food every day in the future. Cut. Stop talking nonsense here, you fat pig. You need to collect all 7 super wishing beads before you can make a wish. What's the use of your 6? Besides, just because you want to compete with me, Beerus said with a look of disdain. He didn't take Champa seriously at all. Moreover, the so-called super wishing beads didn't work for him at all. As for the Earth, he will not give it up, or exchange the Earth for a few stones that are useless to him. Chi. You don't dare to compete, do you Beerus? I knew you were a complete coward. I don't dare to compete with our 6th universe at all. Champa directly used the aggressive method. Beerus is skinny, the most unbearable thing is being looked down upon. Cut. Your aggressive method is really clumsy. Okay, if there is nothing else, go back to your 6th universe. Beerus wasn't fooled, because this aggressive method was too bad for him. Giggle. Skinny. If you throw in the towel right now and give us the Earth, I'll leave. Champa is also directly shameless. In front of food, what is the face? More importantly, he has always been known as a scoundrel. So it's nothing to him at all. Beerus' expression changed. But looking at Champa's dead pig's expression that is not afraid of boiling water, there is nothing wrong with it. After all, the gods of destruction now expressly prohibit private fighting. Once there is a battle between gods of destruction, both universes will eventually perish. Even if they are gods of destruction, this is a responsibility and consequence that they cannot afford. Afterwards, Beerus could only ask, let's talk. How about a competition? In fact, scolding is scolding, Beerus still cares about this brother who often makes him angry. It's very simple, because we, the gods of destruction, cannot fight privately, so it is not us who are fighting this time. We select 5 contestants from their respective universes. As for the bet, it's the Earth and the super wishing beads I mentioned before. 0.8 Champa said with a face full of success. Then he looked at Son Goten and Keelan not far away. I am very happy. The 7th universe can even become Beerus's apprentice, so the strength of other humans in the 7th universe is completely conceivable. So this time the competition with the 7th universe was a breeze, without any suspense. Beerus thought for a while. He doesn't really know much about the 6th universe. As for whether there are powerful humans in the 6th universe, he doesn't know. So this time, he is not sure about the game. But after looking at Son Goten next to him, he felt a lot more at ease. This kid has 1/10 of his power. Moreover, after Whis training during this period of time, his strength seems to have become stronger. No matter how strong the humans in the 6th universe are, they should not be able to become Son Goten's opponents. As long as he competes, the 7th universe will not lose. Son Goten, do you want to play against the 6th universe? If there is a competition, will you participate in this competition? He had to ask Son Goten for his opinion in advance. If this kid doesn't participate, then the 7th universe has no chance of winning. But once Son Goten participates, the 6th universe will undoubtedly lose. Because even the current Champa may not be able to defeat Son Goten without using the gods of destruction skill. Since it is a battle to determine the ownership of the Earth, it has something to do with me. I will participate in this game. Son Goten nodded calmly. In fact, taking the Earth as a bet made him a little reluctant. But the matter between gods of destruction, the current him really has no way to stop it. If so, then enter the competition. Beat the guys from the 6th universe. Chapter 72. After hearing that Son Goten agreed to participate so decisively, Beerus did not hesitate. Okay, then we promise you, fat pig. But you must be prepared to lose. Beerus naturally has confident credentials. After all, now Son Goten, acquire already has the power of gods of destruction. It is not easy to handle a few humans in the 6th universe. Giggle. Thought you would be a coward, Beerus. I didn't expect you to still have the atmosphere, but the loser will definitely not be our 6th universe. You should think about how to adopt the Earth to us. Champa also had a triumphant smile on his face. Although he is not very clear about the comprehensive combat power of his own universe human beings. But after looking at the two apprentices of Beerus, he was not worried at all. After all, these two guys look silly, and they look so bulky. Not even a fighter. The seventh universe seems to be just like that. Cut. Just don't cry when the time comes. Beerus didn't bother to continue to pay attention to Champa. Anyway, as long as Son Goten participates in this competition, the sixth universe will definitely lose. Snort. Don't get too excited, Beerus. I'll give you 10 days to prepare. After 10 days, we will hold a competition on the unknown planet. Let's go, Vados. After Champa finished speaking proudly, she took Vados and left. Thinking that I can get the Earth of the seventh universe in 10 days, it is really a very happy thing. And wait for Vados and Champa after they leave. Whis said to Beerus, Master Beerus, isn't the decision just now too reckless? If the sixth universe also has human beings with extraordinary talents, we may not be able to obtain it. Win. And you should have explained all the rules of the game clearly. Although he does not deny the power of Son Goten. And even in other universes, it's hard to find a warrior as strong as Son Goten. But there are no rules for customized competitions. Sometimes it is difficult for Sunny alone to decide the victory of all contests. HMPH. I can ignore other people's provocations, except Champa's fat pig. Son Goten, you must win the game. Beerus snorted coldly, then said to 16 Son Goten. Master Beerus, there is no problem in winning the match. However, I also have one condition, that is, after winning the game, can the super wish belong to me? Son Goten spoke up. Super wishing beads don't do much for gods of destruction Beerus. And now that Earth has so much good food, Beerus doesn't seem to have much to wish for. But for Son Goten, it was of great use. It is very important to improve the strength, at least the strength must be raised to the level above angel. In this world where the strong are like clouds, perhaps it is possible to live a little more nourished. And for this, Super Shenron should be able to help. Okay, as long as you can win the game, humiliate that fat pig Champa. The super wishing bead is yours. Anyway, that thing is not very useful to gods of destruction. Gods of destruction Beerus agreed without thinking. Because he really can't think of what kind of wish to make with the super wishing beads. These Lord Beerus. Son Goten also hastened to express his thanks. With the Super Dragon Ball, his strength will definitely be further improved. You should hurry up and train hard. Don't embarrass me when the time comes. It seems that I didn't wake up just now, I will go to catch up with it. Beerus yawned and went back to his temple to sleep after finishing speaking. Then let's continue training, Whis said to the two of them. Whis, we've been here for a whole month, and I want to go back to Earth to take a look. It's good that my mother and the others don't have to worry. Son Goten is going back to Earth. It's been a whole month since I left. If there are some crises on the Earth, he can't predict them at all. And Chi-Chi and Vital must be very worried now. Sure, I'll take you there. Whis nodded without hesitation, and kindly send them back. Of course, Whis naturally has his own plans in mind. During this period of time, the delicacies brought over last time have almost been eaten. After this time, just in time to taste some fresh delicacies. Then pack some more by the way. Okay, then trouble. Although Son Goten knew what Whis was thinking, he didn't mean to throw himself and cling back. 100% food for the Earth. But Son Goten said very politely. In the past month, Whis has been very attentive to their training. And the three get along well. For that alone, Whis should be thanked. You don't have to be so polite with me, anyway, we are friends now. Whis said out of embarrassment. After all, he wanted to go to Earth this time entirely for the food. Half an hour later, the two returned to Earth again. This time, the three of them appeared directly in Exodus. Goten, I suddenly felt a very weak breath. It's not like the breath of ordinary Earthlings. As soon as he arrived in Exodus, Keelan said to Son Goten. The moment he entered the western capital, he suddenly felt a strange breath. This breath must have been very strong originally, but it may be due to the injury, so it has become extremely weak now. Well, I seem to feel it too. And the place where the breath comes out seems to be Aunt Bulma's capsule company. Son Goten also nodded and said, Whis, why don't you go around and look for delicious food first? The two of us felt a strange aura just now, and now we have to go over to see what's going on. Son Goten said to Whis. Okay, I'll go find you after I pack the food. Whis also nodded without hesitation. He has no interest in the world on Earth. What he is most interested in is whether he can discover the best delicacies that he has never eaten before. After finishing speaking, Son Goten took Keelan an instant transmission. Appeared directly at Bulma's capsule company. Whizzing. At this time Bulma was wandering anxiously in the yard. Goten, Kling, great, you're here. Seeing Son Goten and Keelan suddenly appear, Bulma's anxious face showed a happy look. What's the matter, Aunt Bulma, has something happened? We just felt a very faint breath coming from the capsule company. Son Goten also asked immediately. Looking at Bulma's anxious expression just now, it's obvious that something big has happened. It's Trunks, he just came back with bruises all over his body. I didn't know what to do just now, it's great that you can come. Bulma spoke immediately. Just a few minutes ago, Trunks suddenly appeared in the yard in a time machine. And covered with scars, he passed out immediately after coming out of the time machine. It scared her enough, but I couldn't contact anyone else, so I was very anxious. Trunks, didn't he follow Vegeta and Goku to the planet King Kai? Klin looked at Bulma with a puzzled look and said. But Son Goten understood right away what was going on. The Trunks that Bulma is talking about are not small Trunks of this plane. Instead, they are the future Trunks who traveled from the future time and space in a time machine. In other words, Zamasu from the future time and space appeared. And Trunks came to this time and space for help. But logically speaking, when fighting Cell at that time, future Trunks also participated in the battle. He should know that Son Goku and Vegeta were all killed by Cell. Why do you still come to this time and space for help? I'm talking about the future Trunks. Goten, hurry up and take a look. Bulma explained, and then said to Son Goten anxiously. Maybe it's the reason why I lost Trunks since I was a child. So just seeing Trunks in the future with such a serious injury made her feel very painful. Don't worry, Aunt Bulma. I can feel the breath of Trunks, and he'll be fine. After Son Goten comforted, he walked directly into the room. Then saw the future Trunks lying on the bed. At this time, he was covered in scars, and the blood almost stained his entire body red. At this moment, he was still frowning, clenching his teeth tightly, with an angry and fearful expression. Goten, why don't you go to Kalanta and bring back some fairy beans? Bulma hurriedly said to Son Goten. Having spent such a long time with the warriors of the earth, he is naturally very clear about Kalanta's fairy beans. As long as there is still a breath, it can make people fully recover. Don't bother, I can recover from Trunks' injury. Son Goten shook his head. Then his right hand was placed gently on Son Goten's chest. A grass-green healing energy instantly began to spread throughout the body. In an instant, the shocking wounds on Trunks began to heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time, his weak breath began to recover little by little. Cut. Damn it. As the wound recovered, Trunks' complexion became worse and worse. He clenched his fists tightly, still murmuring incessantly. Until all the wounds on his body were completely healed, and his breath was fully recovered. Trunks snapped his eyes open. Jumped out of bed. The moment he saw Son Goten, flames of anger burst out of his eyes. You bastard. With a leap of his body, he directly picked up his sword of the brave. Then he flew up and slashed down hard towards Son Goten. Because the guy in front of him is exactly the same as the guy who destroyed the earth before. He subconsciously thought it was that guy who followed. Trunks, stop now. Bulma saw that the Trunks who had come to life actually made a move on Goten and immediately yelled loudly. Son Goten is sticking out. With his index finger, he easily blocked Trunks' sword of the brave. Hey Trunks, wake up. I am not your enemy. Son Goten also said lightly. After hearing the voices of Bulma and Son Goku, Trunks also seemed to regain consciousness. Looking at Son Goten in front of him, it seems that he is indeed different from Black Goku. Their clothes and their eyes are completely different. And the person in front of him is a bit smaller than Black Goku. Then he quickly turned his head and looked around. Just saw Bulma and Kling. Mom, Uncle Kling. Trunks looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Because he clearly remembered that his mother had been killed by the Black Goku in order to help him successfully go to the past time and space. And the mother in front of him seemed much younger and more beautiful than the one in his time and space. This shows that he successfully traveled to the past time and space. Mother. Trunks hugged Bulma as soon as sad memories flooded his mind. Vent the sadness in my heart. It's okay, Trunks. There will be no more trouble. Looking at the extremely sad Trunks, Bulma immediately patted his back and began to comfort him. He could totally feel Trunks' sadness at the moment. One can imagine what kind of pain he suffered in his own time and space. After finding 823 2 minutes later, Trunks also let go of Bulma. Then he turned his attention to son Goten. You, Uncle Goku? Trunks asked with some uncertainty. The person in front of him is much younger than Uncle Goku. But the appearance is exactly the same as Uncle Goku. Did something happen to make Uncle Goku younger? Forehead. Both son Goten and Keelan were stunned. He actually recognized Goten as Goku. But it's no wonder that in the time and space that Trunks went to, son Goten hadn't been born yet. So it is not surprising to admit that Goten is wrong. Trunks, he's not Goku. Goku, Vegeta and the other fighters were all killed by Cell 8 years ago when they fought. He is Goten, son of Goku, younger brother of Gohan. Bulma also quickly opened his mouth to explain. Nani, Uncle Goku's son. Also. You said that Uncle Goku in this time and space were all killed by Cell. Trunks looks unbelievable, because of the time and space he had been to, although Uncle Goku was killed by the artificial human Cell. But Dad, Uncle Piccolo and Brother Gohan were not killed by Cell. Instead, they teamed up to kill Cell. Have you traveled through the wrong time and space? Yes, 8 years ago. Both Bulma and Keelan said sadly. After all, they have lost their best friends, as well as the people closest to them. Wrong. It seems that I really traveled through the wrong time and space. In this case, it's over. The energy of the time machine is also used up. Trunks lowered his head remorsefully. He used the only time machine energy to go to the past time and space for help. Just to hope that Uncle Goku and Dad can solve the Black Goku. But now through the wrong time and space, the time and space where Dad and Uncle Goku were killed by Cell. Is my time and space really hopeless? Trunks, the power possessed by the current Goten has already completely surpassed Goku and Vegeta, and even reached an unimaginable level for Goku and the others. So you don't have to be so desperate. After seeing Trunks' desperate expression, Klin immediately spoke. What are you saying? Goten is stronger than Uncle Goku and Papa. After hearing Klin's words, Trunks looked at son Goten in disbelief. He really couldn't believe it. Because Goten is still very young, even if he started practicing from the mother's womb, it is impossible for him to surpass Uncle Goku and Dad. Well, and it's a world of difference. Clint nodded firmly. And at this moment, a powerful evil breath also suddenly appeared from the earth. At the same time, a huge purple black hole appeared in the sky above Exedu. Chapter 73. The moment he felt the evil aura appear, Trunks' expression instantly became serious and angry. This breath is the Black Goku who destroyed the future Earth and killed 99% of the human beings on the Earth. Of course, that's what they call the guy. Because he looks exactly like Uncle Goku, but his personality is completely different. That guy is simply a murderous demon. In his eyes, human beings are like ants, killing wantonly. He even called it a filthy creature. It's such a strong breath, and it's very evil. Keelan also felt the anger immediately. After being transformed into an artificial human, although others cannot feel his breath. But he could clearly feel the anger of others. This is one of his strengths now. Everyone can't feel his anger, and may relax their vigilance against him. When the time comes to launch an attack, it may have unexpected effects. Goten, Uncle Klin, this aura is the guy who destroyed the future time and space. We call him Black Goku. I didn't expect this guy to travel through time and space and follow here. This is troublesome, and it may cause a devastating blow to this time and space. Trunks immediately retracted his Sword of the Brave, and put it on his back, ready to fight Black Goku. Anyway, this time he must defeat Black Goku. Absolutely don't let him do whatever he wants in this time and space. Let's go and have a look. I am very interested in this guy. Son Goten said calmly. Goku is really black now, and his strength is actually very weak. Although he obtained Son Goku's body with the Super Shenron, he still can't fully control the power. Not to the extent of Super Saiyan God. So it is not difficult to completely erase him. Trunks nodded quickly. Then everyone walked out of the house. In the sky, a huge purple black hole appeared at this time. In the black hole, purple lightning flashes. In the next second, a figure flashed out of the black hole. The appearance is exactly the same as Son Goku, and the figure is exactly the same. It's just that there is a green earring on the right ear, and the space-time ring on the finger. As for this guy's martial arts uniform, just like their aura, it is pure black. And the eyes are exactly the same as Son Goku. Giggle. This bastard. Trunks clenched his fists tightly, watching the black Goku suddenly appear in the sky. Angry flames flickered in his eyes. It is estimated that in the future time and space, his mother and Xiaowu have all been killed by him. Oh, Trunks. And Krillin and that brat, son of Son Goku. Just when everyone was watching the black Goku in the sky, this guy also found Son Goten and the others. Quickly recognized Trunks and Kling. Because after obtaining Son Goku's body, he also obtained Son Goku's memory. Naturally knew Kling, and quickly guessed the identity of Son Goten. Because in the time and space when he took away Son Goku's body, Son Goten was by Son Goku's side at that time. And he also killed Son Goten mercilessly. I didn't expect Son Goten in this time and space to grow longer. But since they were inexplicably teleported to this time and space, let's kill them all too. Son Jun. Bulma looked at the black Goku who was exactly the same as Son Goku in the sky, and murmured in a low voice. Mom, that guy is not Uncle Goku. Trunks gave a reminder. Then he directly pulled out the sword of the brave behind him and let out a roar. Ha ha. With a deep roar, Trunks directly turned into the form of Super Saiyan 2. He is the only fighter in the future time and space, so he trains desperately every day. Since it was Android 17 and 18 and Cell that killed the future time and space, he has also been guided by Master Quan. So now, the form of Super Saiyan 2 has been fully mastered. But even so, he is still no match for Black Goku. And that partner will become stronger and stronger as they fight. Damn devil, I will definitely end you this time. After turning into Super Saiyan 2, Trunks' body flickered and disappeared in place instantly. When it appeared again, it was already on top of Black Goku. Holding the sword of the brave with both hands, he slashed straight down. Good. So amazing. I didn't expect Trunks to become so powerful, and now he is not weaker than Goku and the others. Seeing the speed and strength of Trunks, Kling was incomparably surprised. Although the Trunks at this time can only become the form of Super Saiyan 2. But the strength and speed he displayed just now are obviously no weaker than Super 3's Goku. I don't know how this kid trained alone to become so strong. Loneliness and despair can make a person stronger quickly. Because he doesn't have any support in the future time and space, all the enemies can only be solved by himself. So he has to force himself to become stronger in order to deal with all enemies and protect the Earth. After hearing Keelan's surprise, Son Goten explained lightly. In fact, he had this feeling before. At that time, he was also the last hope of the Earth. So he can understand the feeling of Trunks very well, and understand why he has become so strong. Because behind him, there is no longer any support. All things must depend on oneself. After hearing Son Goten's words, Keelan turned his head and took a look. Then I thought to myself, Goten, is this why you have risen to such a level in such a short period of time? And this time in midair. Faced with Trunks' strenuous blow, Black Goku's expression remained unchanged. Because in the future time and space, they have fought countless times. He's completely used to the fighting style and power of Trunks. This kind of power will not cause any harm to him at all. Grabbed the brave sword of Trunks directly. The black energy ball instantly condensed from the other hand. It then exploded directly on Trunks' chest. Boom. Accompanied by a violent explosion, Trunks' body was directly blown away. A cloud of black mist from the explosion also appeared in the sky. After flying dozens of feet away, Trunks burst into breath again to stabilize his body. It's just that at this time, Black Goku's body has reached the top of her head. With a roundabout kick, the instep hit Trunks hard on the neck. Boom. Rumble. At the same time, Trunks' body slammed into the ground. The ground was also smashed into a huge sinkhole. Obviously, even Trunks with super strength is not worth mentioning in front of Black Goku. Alright, Trunks. Kling quickly helped Trunks to his feet. Then he looked solemnly at the black Goku in the sky, and said in a low voice, "That guy's strength is really too strong. It is estimated that even if Goku is resurrected, he is not his opponent. As for myself, I am no match for that guy. Although I trained with Whis for a whole month. The basic combat power has indeed been greatly improved, but he can't transform to increase the calendar area like the subhumans. Okay, let me meet this black Goku," Son Goten said to the crowd. Then the body slowly appeared in front of black Goku. "Hey, you dare to break into the earth without authorization, you are a bit too courageous." Son Goten stared at black Goku, and said indifferently. He swore before that once these evil guys step into the earth, he will definitely send them to hell. Although the black Goku in front of him is not from this time and space, he is absolutely no exception. "Cut, smelly brat, you are Son Goku's youngest son. In my time and space, you were crushed to death by me like an ant." Black Goku raised a devilish smile at the corner of his mouth, and then said to Son Goten. Although the kid in front of him is not the same as the one he killed. But their ending will definitely be the same. Is that so? If that's the case, then you're even more damned. Son Goten said in an extremely indifferent tone. "Smelly brat, don't get carried away in front of God. In the eyes of God, you are nothing but a bunch of dirty, ignorant bugs." Seeing Son Goten's indifferent expression, Kuro Goku became angry instantly. These stupid and dirty human beings are always so self-righteous. This is why he tried every means to eliminate all human beings. Because these dirty humans will only pollute this beautiful universe. After all these dirty creatures are cleaned up, the universe will be restored to goodness. He will also create his own paradise. Supreme Kai, a mere candidate for the 10th universe, dares to speak wild words. In my opinion, you're the self-righteous bug. Son Goten's tone was still indifferent, and he didn't pay attention to Black Goku at all. Even the gods of destruction of their 10th universe, the current Son Goten is not afraid at all. What's more, it is a candidate Supreme Kai who has taken away someone else's body. Just rubbish. You stubborn bug, die. Black Goku roared angrily. Unexpectedly, the kid in front of him was more annoying than Son Goku. If that's the case, let's destroy him too. By the way, the planet is completely destroyed. The moment the roar fell, Zamasu's body rushed directly to Son Goten. While not doing any Saiyan transformations, his speed and strength are clearly above the Trunks. Watch out for Goten, that bastard is insanely strong. Trunks also quickly opened his mouth to remind. After all, Goten is too young. He felt that there was no way he could be a match for Black Goku. The moment Black Goku punches, Son Goten grabbed his fist straight away. Then twisted out. Click. At the same time as the crisp bone cracking sound, Black Goku's entire arm was completely deformed. Shanmingjing lost his combat capability. In the next second, Son Goten's body disappeared like a ghost. At this moment, none of them could see Sun Wu clearly. Action of the day. Only the crisp sound of cracking bones could be heard continuously. Click, click, click. Almost in the blink of an eye, Black Goku's limbs were completely snapped off. Ah! At the same time as the shrill screams sounded, Black Goku's eyes were also flickering with a look of incomparable horror. Why does the brat in front of me feel stronger than Son Goku? It's so different from the Son Goten I killed. At this moment, an unprecedented sense of fear arose in his heart. He is obviously just a stinky brat, yet he has such great power. Even stronger than the Son Goku I saw before. I don't have vertigo. Trunks was completely dumbfounded seeing the Black Goku who was completely crippled in the blink of an eye. He rubbed his eyes vigorously, wondering if he was delusional. Goten's strength is so powerful. But they didn't see what was going on, and they completely disabled Black Goku's ability to fight. Is this the so-called god? Vulnerable rubbish. Next, say goodbye to this beautiful world. Looking at the terrified Black Goku, Son Goten's tone was still extremely indifferent. With that look, he didn't take Black Goku seriously at all. What if he becomes Super Saiyan Toko? What if I become a combined Zamasu? Son Goten, who has mastered his own mind, doesn't pay attention to them at all. No. Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Black Goku was still muttering in disbelief. After planning for such a long time, I finally found the super wishing beads and changed bodies with Son Goku. Are you going to perish in this ghost place today? I'm not reconciled, but now he has completely lost the ability to resist. Just like the fish on the board, it is ready to be slaughtered. Just when Black Goku looked at Son Goten in disbelief, Son Goten's body flashed out again. Then a heavy punch went straight through Black Goku's body. Poof. Following this, Black Goku's pupils also expanded rapidly. An extremely frightened, well done, breath of death instantly enveloped him completely. He never expected that after following Trunks to this time and space, he would be instantly killed in an instant. Is his grand ambition coming to an end here? And at this moment, no one noticed that the space-time ring on Black Goku's finger suddenly emitted a faint light. Immediately afterwards, the purple black hole behind him also quickly began to close. Whoosh! In the next second, Black Goku's scarred body was directly absorbed by the purple black hole. What's going on? Black Goku is gone. Seeing the Black Goku being sucked in by the purple black hole, Trunks panicked. If this guy is allowed to escape to the future time and space, then the future time and space will really be finished. Those who survived will definitely all be killed. Did it run away? It seems that I was a little too careless just now. It's better not to have this kind of thing happen in the future. Looking at the purple black beans and Black Goku's body that had completely disappeared, Son Goten raised his eyebrows slightly and said to himself. But it's not a big problem. Even if this guy becomes stronger again, I can still kill him easily. And if Black Goku didn't die, he could just go to the future time and space. Acquire Zamasu's undying body. That kind of ability is still very useful for now. Whoosh! Then the body flashed, and returned to the front of Trunks and Keelan. Goten, did that guy escape? Keelan asked quickly. Well, I was a little too careless just now, and I forgot that he still has the ability to travel through time and space. But it's not a big problem, because the space-time of Trunks is completely resolved. Son Goten said lightly, just in time to kill Zamasu and pick up the undead body. In this way, there is no need to waste the wishing opportunity of the Super Dragon Ball. Chapter 74. OMG. OMG. Is this really Uncle Goku's Son Goten? This kind of strength is really terrifying, to kill Black Goku in an instant. Even Uncle Goku and Big Brother Gohan couldn't do this. At this moment, Trunks was completely dumbfounded and extremely shocked. My heart was churning with turbulent waves. Unexpectedly, there is such a powerful energy hidden in Goten's body. And this kind of power can obviously kill Black Goku completely in an instant. The place just now was also escaped by him, mainly because of carelessness. After being shocked, Trunks immediately asked Son Goten, Goten, can you please go to the future time and space to help solve the Black Goku? With your strength, you can completely eliminate him. He had seen Goten's strength just now. And more importantly, Goten didn't perform any Saiyan transformations. Just using normal strength instantly made Black Goku lose his fighting power. Even almost killed him. If this power becomes the form of Super Saiyan, I don't know how strong it will be. Okay, then I'll go take a look with you. The guy just now is really annoying. If I don't get rid of him, I will feel very upset. Son Goten nodded without hesitation. The Black Goku just now really made him very upset, especially the guy's evil expression. Of course, the most important thing he wants to go to the future is for Zamasu's immortal body. Although the strength reaches his own level, the immortal son will not be of much use. But at some point, it can still have unexpected effects. Thank you. Unexpectedly, Son Goten agreed so readily, and Trunks also hurriedly thanked him. Now the future time and space can be saved. Those surviving humans finally don't have to be killed. They finally don't have to live in panic. Mom, can you help me make some time machine energy? Because in our future time and space, resources are very scarce, and the mother over there has exhausted a few years, but only researched the energy for this time and space. Trunks looked at Bulma again and pleaded. It is estimated that on the Earth, only Mother can make the energy of time machine. Well, leave this matter to me. Go back to the future time, and then completely eliminate those villains. Bulma also nodded seriously. 720. After all, the Trunks in front of him is also his son. She naturally didn't want her son to live in that painful environment. Soon Bulma was working on a power source for the time machine. Because I have come into contact with the time machine before. So she has almost figured out the energy principle of the time machine. Moreover, the Earth in this time and space has not suffered too much devastating blow. Therefore, many materials for making time machine energy can be easily found. After about 3 hours, Whis packed a lot of delicacies and returned to the capsule company. Goten, Krillin, let's go back. Whis spoke. After all, his main purpose of coming to Earth is to enjoy and pack delicious food. Now that it's done, there's no need to stay on Earth. And if Master Beerus can't find himself after waking up, he will probably be wordy again. Whis, why don't you go back by yourself this time? There are other things on Earth that I need to figure out. Son Goten said to Whis. Other things. Is it related to that kid? He doesn't seem to be from this time and space. Whis looked at Trunks, and just by looking at it, he knew that Trunks did not belong to this time and space. After all, Angel's ability far surpassed their imagination. Yes, he is from the future. The future time and space have suffered a very serious blow. If we don't help, the Earth in the future time and space may be destroyed. Son Goten didn't hide anything, because he knew that such things could not be hidden from Angel. Did you know that traveling through time and space at will is a felony? If Lord Beerus finds out, you will be severely punished. Whis said in a very serious tone. Traveling through time and space at will may pose a very terrifying threat to the two time and space. Just like people from the future time and space travel to this time and space, even if they step on a grass to death, it may lead to the destruction of this time and space. Although the chances of this are low, it's not impossible. Because of such potential danger, God clearly stipulates that human beings are not allowed to travel through time and space at will. Mr. Whis, if you can help me keep this BGAG matter a secret, I will treat you to the best food in the world. Son Goten naturally knew Whis' weakness, and said directly with a smile. Real. Sure enough, Whis has no resistance to food. There was a look of curiosity and anticipation in his eyes. Yes, Laotin sauerkraut beef noodles, hand-marinated honey sauerkraut. The taste is definitely infinitely better than the barrel noodles I have eaten before. Of course, in order to show my sincerity, I will give you a few more buckets of self-healing pot. Son Goten replied with a nod. Laotin sauerkraut noodles marinated by hand is definitely a high-end atmosphere. It couldn't be more suitable to match with an angel-level deity like Whis. I heard it looks very good. Okay, then I will keep it secret for you for the time being. However, it's best not to cause confusion in time and space, otherwise it won't be able to hide it when the time comes. Unable to withstand the temptation of delicious food, Whis can only agree to help keep it secret. And as long as it doesn't cause confusion between the two universes, then the problem shouldn't be too big. As long as it is not discovered by Master Zeno and Grand Priest, generally speaking, they will not be punished. Well, don't worry, Son Goten nodded. Then he asked Keelan to go to a nearby supermarket to buy a lot of Laotin sauerkraut beef noodles and Zihai pot. These things don't cost much, but they can completely pass the whistling. Sure enough, after getting Laotin sauerkraut noodles and self-indulgence, Angel Whis went back in a hurry. 3 days later, Bulma finally made the energy source of the time machine. But only one round trip. After simple preparations, Son Goten, Trunks and Klin also boarded the time machine, ready to go to the future time and space. Goten, Clint, please take care of Trunks, don't let him get hurt again. Bulma is also very sincerely begging Goten and Kling. Because the Trunks in the future time and space have suffered too many injuries. It is estimated that my heart is already riddled with holes. As her own child, she naturally felt extremely distressed. Don't worry, Aunt Bulma. After going back this time, I will completely solve all the crises in the future time and space. Son Goten nodded seriously. Zamasu and Black Goku, even if they combine themselves, they can easily defeat them. It's just that the undead body may be a little troublesome. I don't know if the destructive power of gods of destruction can completely destroy the undead body. By the way, please tell my mother for me, please don't worry. After Son Goten said to Bulma again, the time machine started and was instantly surrounded by a white energy zone. Immediately afterwards, he disappeared directly into the capsule company. Everyone. You must come back alive. Looking at the disappearing Trunks and Son Goten, Bulma also prayed in his heart. After going through the bumps in the space-time tunnel, the three finally came to the future time and space. The future time and space at this time, a dim scene, is like the end of the world. Looking around, it was all gray and gloomy, and I couldn't see any dawn of hope. The originally emerald green planet has now become a miasma. The bustling cities and streets have long been riddled with holes and devastated. There was an unpleasant smell of blood in the air. Giggle, is this really Earth? It's unbelievable. That bastard actually destroyed the Earth like this. After seeing the Earth in front of him, Keelan murmured in disbelief. His body trembled with anger. Now it seems that the guy who looks exactly like Goku is indeed a demonic existence. There are only a group of ordinary people living on the Earth. Didn't expect to be able to make such a ruthless move. This is definitely a demon from hell. Because it is impossible for a creature with a little bit of conscience to do such a cruel thing. Although Son Goten has already seen such a scene in Dragon Ball Super. But seeing it with your own eyes is completely different from seeing it in anime. Especially the smell of blood that can be smelled in the air. That smell is full of despair and helplessness. He seemed to be able to see those helpless humans falling in a pool of blood one by one. Those desperate cries for help and helpless cries kept echoing in my ears. Unknowingly, a powerful force was uncontrollably released from Son Goten's body. Trunks and Keelan also quickly looked at Son Goten. Because of that powerful force, they can clearly feel it. Those two demons are absolutely unforgivable. Sun Wu clenched his fists tightly and said in an extremely cold tone. If Black Goku and Zamasu are not completely eliminated, how many innocent human beings will suffer? Then Trunks began to sense the surrounding breath with his eyes closed. Less than a minute later, he felt two breaths. One of them is the aura of the former Black Goku, and the other is the aura of God. Obviously, that breath is Zamasu's. Trunks, Mr. Kling, I can already feel the breath of Black Goku. Let's go. Although Son Goten's tone seemed very calm, both Klin and Trunks could feel the monstrous killing intent. It seems that Black Goku is going to be in bad luck this time. The two also nodded quickly. Then the bodies of the three disappeared in place in an instant. And at this time, in a simple bamboo house on the outermost edge of the earth. Both of them had very heavy faces. And these two people are naturally the Black Goku and Zamasu that Son Goten they are looking for. The reason why they went so far was to restore Hei Wu. Empty wounds. After being punched through the body by Son Goten earlier, he almost died. Fortunately, Zamasu's healing ability repaired his body in time and healed the injury. And after his body is healed, his strength has also been greatly improved. Damn, that stinky brat, Son Goten, actually came after me. At this time, Black Goku also felt the breath of Son Goten and Trunks. His face instantly became tense and dignified. If it's just Trunks, he can kill him with one finger now. But that Son Goten is just too powerful. The pain he endured before left an indelible fear in his heart. And with this increase in strength, he felt more fear of Son Goten in his heart. Snort, just a little ghost scares you like this, doesn't it seem like your style? Besides, after recovering from your injuries, you now have full strength not weaker than Son Goku. Kill a stinky brat, it should be possible. Zamasu on the opposite side snorted coldly, and said to Black Goku with some contempt. This guy was actually scared like this by a human kid, it's really embarrassing to God. You're wrong, Zamasu. My heart is shaking with fear right now, and that speaks volumes about how dangerous Son Goten is. I did look down on all humans before, but these subhumans are an exception. Although as the most noble god in the universe, I am very reluctant to admit this. Black Goku said with an extremely serious face. And Son Goten's aura is rapidly approaching here. The fear in his heart is also spreading little by little. Then according to what you say, what should we do? Zamasu looked at Black Goku as if he didn't seem to be lying, so he asked. After all, although he has an immortal body, his basic combat effectiveness is too poor. If a fight did break out, it would have to be resolved by Black Goku alone. Fit. Become a combined Zamasu. We'll definitely be able to completely eliminate that stinky brat. Isn't this also our ultimate goal? As long as the fusion is completed, Human Project Zero is no problem at all. Black Goku spoke immediately. Now their time is running out. If Son Goten and the others come to the door, with that decisive fighting style, it is estimated that they will not be given a chance for fusion. Start Project Zero early. Then let's start, Anyway, sooner or later. Zamasu could only nod his head. Next, let those stupid people have a good experience of the power of the Supreme God. Then Zamasu directly took off the light green Patara earring on his right ear. At that moment, the bodies of the two were directly sucked together by a terrifying suction force. The whole bamboo house was instantly brightened. An incomparably powerful divine energy was also instantly born on the earth. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Chapter 75. And Son Goten and Trunks, who are flying towards Zamasu and Black Goku. After seeing that dazzling ray of light, all three of them stopped and moved on. At this moment, Trunks and Keelan couldn't feel Zamasu's breath at all. But Son Goten, who has mastered the ego, feels it very clearly. What happened to the light just now? Is it released by the Black Goku from before? Keelan quickly looked at Son Goten and asked. Although I don't know what happened, I can't feel the guy's breath anymore. But for some reason, I always feel that something bad will happen, and I feel uneasy. Trunks is also extremely doubtful. Because every time I see Black Goku, the flames around his body are all black. Why was the light just now white? And in an instant, the help is like the sun, illuminating the entire dim earth. We'll find out soon. Son Goten simply replied. He knows very well that Moss and Black Goku definitely fit together. Perhaps it was because Black Goku felt powerful before, so he didn't choose to risk fighting alone. It took a long time for these two guys to clear the plan for human beings. And it took a lot of thought. I definitely don't want any mistakes in the middle. That's why the integration is so fast. And in their minds, it is estimated that they have already become a factor that threatens their ultimate goal. At this moment, a silver-white light rose slowly from not far away. Go and have a look. Son Goten flashed first, followed by Kling and Trunks. In a moment, it has appeared to the place where the white light rises. At this time, the figure of the combined Zamasu also appeared in front of the three of them. What the hell is going on here? Who is this guy? Why have I never seen him before? Trunks looked at the person in front of him in great horror, with great doubts. In front of Zamasu's body, dazzling aura shone around his body, just like the light of a perfect ultra instinct. The breath of God is rapidly expanding. Nani. Although I can't feel any breath. But this overwhelming sense of oppression is too strong. What the hell is this guy? Keelan also frowned tightly. There is no doubt that this guy definitely possesses a power that completely surpasses him. But why did such a guy suddenly appear? And his hairstyle is exactly the same as when Goku turned into Super Saiyan. Ha ha ha. Mortal, be frightened by this power beyond your imagination. Then quickly kneel down and worship. Fusion with an infinitely improved body and an immortal body, now I am Zamasu, the most powerful god with immortality. After seeing Son Goten and the others appear, Zamasu opened his arms and muttered to himself. The moment the voice fell, the gorgeous spiritual energy around the body suddenly turned into a silver-white halo and appeared behind him. At this time, Zamasu really looked like a god. However, his body has that evil spirit, which is stronger than gods of destruction. Giggle. Damn it. Although I don't know what's going on with you bastard, I will definitely not allow you to continue destroying the earth. Looking at Zamasu, who became more and more powerful in front of him, Trunks couldn't bear it anymore. Pull out the sword of the brave behind you directly, and instantly become Super Saiyan 2. Then rushed directly to Zamasu. Stupid and ignorant bugs, haven't you realized the gap between us? Do you still want to resist before God? Still the same, human beings are always so stupid and self-righteous. Accept the punishment and judgment of the strongest God. After Zamasu's self-righteous voice fell, purple lightning suddenly released from the silver halo behind him. 3 bolts of lightning struck Trunks, Son Goten and Kling at the same time. Boom. Kling and Trunks were instantly knocked away by the purple lightning. After all, the power they have now has not reached the level of Super Saiyan God at all. The combined Zamasu in front of me has already far exceeded this level. Son Goten remained motionless, completely ignoring the attack. With his current physical strength, this level of offense poses no threat to him at all. Even if you give up all your defenses, it's impossible to harm him. At this time, the fit Zamasu also looked at Son Goten. It's just that at this moment, there is no trace of fear on their faces. Son Goten, I have to say that you possess power beyond that of a god. This is the failure of the gods. They actually let the toys they created have power beyond their masters. But soon I will completely clean up the mistakes made by the gods, and let the light of justice shine on this land. And wherever the divine light goes, you filthy things will all disappear. Zamasu opened his hands and looked down at Son Goten. I completely forgot the scene where I was almost FK'd to death by Son Goten. I've said a lot of nonsense. If you have any skills, just show me. Son Goten just replied coldly. Even Zamasu after merging, he doesn't pay attention at all. The only thing that makes him feel troublesome, perhaps, is this guy's undead body. However, the effect of the undead body after the Black Goku fusion has been greatly weakened. Maybe the power of destruction can completely destroy him. Stupid creature, haven't you recognized the gap between us? In front of the most powerful gods, you are just a small bug that can be crushed to death. Accept the baptism of light well. After Zamasu's irritated voice fell, purple energy suddenly burst out from the halo behind him. In an instant, it turned into a giant purple bird. Absolute thunder. Then, a purple thunderbolt like a python blasted towards Son Goten. Son Goten didn't dodge, let the lightning strike him. Because he knew very well that such things could not cause him the slightest harm. Not to mention that his body contains Majin Buu's cells. Even if it is crushed into powder, so what? He can still recover easily. The purple lightning instantly engulfed Son Goten completely. But after the purple lightning disappeared, Son Goten stood still intact. Obviously, the thunder and lightning just now did not affect him in the slightest. Didn't even make him take half a step back. Nani? Zamasu finally showed a panicked look on his face. The absolute thunder just now can easily kill even ordinary gods. But I didn't expect it to have no effect on Son Goten at all. This is the power of the so-called strongest god. It's not even a tickle. Next, I'll show you the calendar area in your mouth. Son Goten patted his chest lightly, his tone was calm, and his eyes really became serious. If you want to get rid of Zamasu completely, the power of normality obviously cannot do it. Then it is necessary to change into the form of the legendary Super Saiyan. Of course, it would be a little too cheap for Zamasu to destroy him easily. All his self-esteem and self-righteousness must be completely crushed to make him understand how weak he is. And human beings are definitely not the ants in his mouth. Ha ha. In the next second, a deep roar roared out from Son Goten's throat. An unparalleled and terrifying power was also released from Son Goten's body instantly. Rustle. The grass-green gaseous flames continuously slapped the surrounding air. Circles of energy ripples spread in all directions. Rumble. At the same time, the world changed color. Under the irradiance of the grass-green flames, the entire sky and the earth turned green. At the same time, golden lightning bolts like giant pythons descended from the sky. What? Is this Goten's true strength? It's unbelievable what kind of training you have gone through to improve your strength to this level. Trunks felt the unparalleled terrifying power, and the shock in his heart was like a raging wave. He never thought that a Saiyan's power could reach such a level. Goten is like that, it's always a surprise. Every time you transform, your strength will improve qualitatively. Keelan said proudly. It is indeed a matter of pride to be friends with Goten. But, why is the breath around Goten's body green? I remember that after our other Saiyans became Super Saiyans, their breath should be golden. At this time, Trunks also found something was wrong. Goten at this moment is obviously preparing to become Super Saiyan. But the breath around his body is green, completely different from them. This did surprise him a bit. Because I've never seen it like this before. That's what makes Goten different. He's totally different from other Saiyans after transforming, you'll know soon. Keelan also responded vaguely. Because she doesn't know why Goten's hair and chi are green after transformation. This is indeed different from the previous Super Saiyan form. No. Impossible. How did that little devil's breath become so powerful? Are you kidding? It's just a filthy human being as weak as an ant. Why did he gain such powerful power? This is definitely the greatest humiliation to God. Feeling the outrageously strong aura of Son Goten, Zamasu was completely dumbfounded. Originally thought that after they fit together, they could easily crush all human beings to death. But Son Goten in front of him, why does he have such a powerful body? Ask for flowers. This force is so powerful that he can't believe it. At this moment, even he himself doubted his own strength. After the fusion, the infinitely expanding power is actually not as good as an ant in his eyes. Just when everyone was extremely shocked, Sun Goten has finally completed his transformation. Rustle. See la la. The grass green flames continuously hit the air, making a rustling sound. The golden arc flickered around the body like a small snake. The hair turned green and the pupils turned golden. Impressively, at this time Sun Goten directly became Xuanchao. Since he wants to completely crush all of Zamasu's self-confidence, he must show all his strength. Make him helpless. After transforming into Super 2, Sun Goten raised his head and glanced at the panicked Zamasu. Then he joked coldly. Zamasu, look at your expression, are you scared? It's ridiculous, to be afraid of an ant in your mouth. It seems that you, the most powerful god, don't seem to be doing well. Hearing Sun Goten's ridicule, Zamasu was also furious. Ants, don't think that you can be so arrogant after gaining some power. God is an existence that you can never surpass. I will use your blood to verify this eternal truth. Zamasu growled angrily. Although Sun Goten's power made him feel fear. But with an immortal body and the most perfect body, it is absolutely impossible to be defeated. And it will continue to improve in the battle until it completely kills the opponent. Swish. The moment the roar fell, Zamasu's body appeared directly in front of Sun Goten. Then he punched out. He knew that the energy attack just now could not have any impact on Sun Goten at all. Then there is only hand-to-hand combat. The moment Zamasu baked his fist, Sun Goten greeted him with the same punch. Boom, boom, boom. The moment the two fists collided, terrifying shock waves spread in all directions. The ruins of the city under their feet were directly reduced to powder by the shock wave. A huge sinkhole is spreading rapidly on the ground. The earth, which was already dilapidated, is even more crumbling at this moment. Uncle Kling, I'm going to see the survivors. Feeling the battle between Sun Goten and Zamasu, Trunks knew that if the fight continued like this, the earth would be destroyed. And the remaining survivors will also be killed. So he had to rescue those people first. Those people are his last belief in protecting the earth. Good. Clint nodded quickly. And at this moment, after the punch collided, Zamasu's body was directly blasted thousands of feet away. The entire arm lost feeling in an instant. Click, click, click. Immediately afterwards, an extremely crisp cracking sound sounded behind him. Then I saw that the halo behind Zamasu began to appear cracks. With the last sound, it directly turned into a little bit of starlight. With just one punch collision, the creature directly shattered Zamasu's halo. Dirty ants are unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Zamasu saw that his halo had been shattered by a punch, and he roared like a beast. Shame. This is an absolute shame. Only by killing the ant in front of him can this shame be washed away. But just wait for him to make a move. Sun Goten's body turned into a green lightning bolt. In the blink of an eye, Zamasu was in front of him, and a right hook landed in Zamasu's face hard. The whole face is also deformed in an instant. Good job, Goten. That's it, take care of that demon. Keelan cheered with excitement. Looking at Zamasu's aura when he first appeared on the stage, I thought he was very powerful. I didn't expect to be so vulnerable in front of Goten. It is simply the power of parrying, and there is no power to fight back. Bang bang bang. Sun Goten's speed is extremely fast, and he kicks Damus around like a ball. And Zamasu had no strength to fight back at all. The endless humiliation in my heart feels more uncomfortable than his death. Boom. Boom. If there is no undead body, it is estimated that the attack just now has completely eliminated him. Stop it. Damn ants. I am the most powerful undead god. There should be a limit to getting carried away. Zamasu roared with fury all over his face. But the moment his voice fell, Sun Goten directly picked up his ankle and began to swing it left and right. Cut. A weak god. Chapter 76. Sun Goten sneered with disdain, and then increased his strength in his hands. Boom boom boom. Zamasu's body kept slapping the ground, and the huge sinkholes on both sides continued to spread towards the surroundings. At this time, Zamasu not only endured the pain caused by his body, but all his self-righteous self-esteem and sense of superiority were pressed to the ground and rubbed fiercely. Rumble. Along with the continuous vibration of the ground, the surrounding cracks continued to spread, just like giant pythons spreading around. If this continues, the earth will really be destroyed. Keelan looked at the python-like crack on the ground and the red magma in the crack, and said with a frown. Of course, Son Goten knows this too. The earth has long since become too dilapidated to be inhabitable. Moreover, the light that survives in this universe has already been destroyed by Zamasu. So even if the earth survives, it is definitely not suitable for human beings to continue living. If so, destroy it. Boom boom boom. At this time, Zamasu was thrown around like a pile of garbage. And his immortal body seems to have begun to change little by little. The broken body, purple mucus like mud began to emerge from the wound. This meant that his immortal body began to disintegrate little by little. If it was Zamasu who was purely undead, such an attack would definitely not kill him. It is estimated that there will be no wounds left on his body. But after combining with Black Goku, the power of the undead body is greatly weakened. Because Black Goku doesn't have an immortal body. Boom. Son Goten slammed Zamasu into the ground again. Then stomped on his face. At this moment, Zamasu's body began to squirm in the 953, and was changing crazily. Dirty human beings, get your stinky feet off the face of God. Unforgivable, unforgivable. Self-esteem was constantly humiliated, Zamasu roared hysterically. But no matter how hard she struggled, she couldn't break free from Son Goten's feet. At this time, the pain he suffered physically was far less than 1/10,000th of the humiliation he suffered mentally. Aren't you the greatest god? Break free if you have the ability. I'm tired of hearing your useless yelling. Stand up quickly, I'm looking forward to being strangled to death by you. Son Goten looked down at Zamasu and said in a cold voice. To deal with this kind of guy who has no humanity at all, he must be completely defeated in the most cruel way. Indeed, Zamasu was indeed crushed. At this moment, his inner belief was crumbling little by little. In his consciousness, human beings are completely unable to defeat gods. What's more, he has now become the most powerful god, a combination of an immortal body and the strongest physical body. How could a figure representing absolute justice be defeated by a human being? It seems that you no longer have any ability to resist me. Since this is the case, there is no need for you to live. Son Goten's voice was still extremely indifferent. At this moment, he could feel that the faith in Zamasu's heart was crumbling a little bit. Now is the best time to kill him. But the problem is, I didn't pick up this guy's undead body. In this way, it can be regarded as a waste of time. This kind of thing, he will not allow. As soon as he thought of this, Son Goten waved his fists directly, facing Zamasu's face with a left and right bow. In a moment, Masi's face has been completely deformed. The original green skin has now turned into a pool of purple mud. That kind of appearance really makes people want to vomit. At the same time, Son Goten could also feel that Zamasu's divine aura was rapidly weakening. Ding! Congratulations to the host for picking up the immortal body. Just when Son Goten tortured Zamasu for 5 minutes, the electronic synthesis of the system sounded in his mind. Is the undead body finally available? Son Goten had a look of joy on his face. The most important thing in his trip to the future time and space is to obtain an immortal body. It is precisely because of this purpose that he did not get rid of Zamasu easily. Now I have got what I want. Then Zamasu has no value in existence. At this moment Zamasu's entire face had been beaten into a puddle of purple mud. His undead body obviously can't play a big role anymore. Damn humans. Ants. Unforgivable. Zamasu was still roaring like a beast. Perhaps this is his last stubbornness. Zamasu, you have no value left. Next, completely disappear from this world. After acquiring the immortal body, Son Goten also completely lost interest in Mas. Although Zamasu after the fit is indeed very strong. But Son Goten immediately showed his full strength from the beginning. There is still a huge gap between the strength of the two of them. So this kind of battle is not fun at all. Ha ha ha. Stupid creatures. I am an immortal body, it is a daydream to actually try to kill me. In this matter, every inch of Zamasu's body is soft, but this mouth is still hard. I have to say, this guy's mouth is really hard. It's such a time, and I can still laugh. And I also feel that Son Goten has nothing to do with him. I don't know if it's self-confidence or stupidity. Yeah, you are really very confident. Then I'll let you take a good look at my methods. Keep your eyes open and take a good look. The corner of Son Goten's mouth curled up into an evil curve. Then directly exited the transformation of Xuanchao Saiyan. In the next second, the black hair suddenly turned purple. The eyebrows disappeared, and the bones were raised high. A purple aura suddenly appeared around the hole. At that moment, Son Goten's aura also became the aura of God, and it was the aura of gods of destruction. A sharp killing intent shot out from those long and narrow eyes. It's a self-conscious gesture. Nani. Breaking gods of destruction. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could a mere filthy ant turn into gods of destruction? Seeing the attitude of Son Goten in front of him, Zamasu was completely terrified. And the anger in his eyes became more and more violent. The Saiyan in front of him is obviously just a dirty human bug. But why can God's breath erupt from his body? And the breath of the gods of destruction? Look at his posture, just like the real gods of destruction. A huge sense of oppression also lingered in my heart instantly. Nothing is impossible. You're just a stubborn frog in a well. The potential of human beings is something you can never imagine, and the Saiyan is a race you will never understand. After Son Goten's indifferent voice fell, a purple destructive energy instantly hit Zamasu's forehead. Zamasu was so frightened that purple mucus flowed all over his face. I'm almost terrified now. But at this moment, Son Goten didn't want to give him any chance at all. Destroy. The moment the cold voice fell, purple energy instantly engulfed Zamasu's body. And at that moment, Masi's body directly turned into a little bit of purple starlight. The breath also disappeared without a trace at this moment. If the guy isn't fusioned, it's really hard to destroy him. It is estimated that even with pure destructive power, it is difficult to do it. But Zamasu after the fusion, the undead body has long been mixed with too much water. Pure destructive power can completely destroy him. Is the knot over? Has that guy been completely wiped out? And at this time, Trunks came over with the surviving people. Just saw the scene where Zamasu turns into a purple starlight. Well, that guy has been completely destroyed by Udian. I have to say, Goten is really a monster. This month in the Gods of Destruction world, I obviously haven't cultivated my ultimate will, but now I have mastered it even more perfectly. Keelan nodded, and then said with emotion. A month ago, Goten had only mastered the imperfect ego. And in the past month, basic training was carried out in the Gods of Destruction world. It has never become the form of self-consciousness at all. But now it seems that Goten has clearly mastered the perfect freedom. This guy is simply a cultivation monster. It's true. Goten is really too good. Trunks also nodded in agreement. Rumble. And at this moment, the entire earth began to shake violently. There are more and more cracks on the ground, and they are getting wider and wider. The new red magma emerging from the crack caused the temperature of the entire planet to suddenly increase. It was clear that the planet was about to explode. Whoosh. At this time, Son Goten flashed his body and came in front of Trunks and Keelan. Then he looked at Trunks and said with a bit of guilt, I'm so sorry, Trunks, this place is about to explode. In fact, if Zamasu was completely destroyed at the beginning of the battle, such a situation should not have been created. But in that case, it is impossible to pick up the undead body. And now such an earth, human beings have long been unable to survive. So even if it doesn't explode, it will probably become a Death Star soon. Don't say sorry, Goten. We should all be thanking you. Without your help, it is estimated that none of us would survive. And this universe has been destroyed by the previous Black Goku. Even the sun on which human beings can survive has been destroyed. Even if the earth does not explode, we will not be able to survive here. Trunks also spoke immediately. He knows that very well. The earth is no longer habitable, so whether it explodes or not doesn't have much impact on them. The question that should be considered now is how to let everyone leave the earth safely. Then find a planet they can adapt to and continue to settle. Okay, let's not discuss this issue for now. Let's get out of here quickly, it's going to explode soon. Keelan quickly confronted the two. Said personally. Maybe the explosion of one planet couldn't kill all three of them. But other surviving ordinary humans will definitely be completely killed. More importantly, Trunks do not have the ability to survive in the universe. Once the planet explodes, it is estimated that he will die too. Mr. Crean is absolutely right. The most important thing right now is to get out of here quickly. Everyone grab each other, and I'm using instant transmission to get everyone out of here. Quote. Son Goten nodded and immediately asked everyone to hold hands and form a circle. The panic-stricken people quickly followed suit. Call out. In the next second, Son Goten directly used instant transmission. At the same time, the earth exploded completely. Rumble. A gorgeous firework blooms in the northern Milky Way. And Son Goten, they have also appeared on another planet. However, it looks more desolate than the previous Earth, with no signs of biological activity at all. I can't even feel the slightest breath. In the next minute, Son Goten traveled around several planets with instant transmission. But either it is an extremely desolate planet with no living things, or it is the same as the previous Earth, destroyed by Ooze and the others. After killing all the Supreme Kais and gods of destruction, this guy can literally do whatever he wants in the 12 universes. Almost all the civilized planets with human beings have been destroyed by them. This universe has been completely dilapidated. Son Goten also has to sigh. Zamasu is indeed a talent. It's just a trainee Supreme Kai. With the effort of one person, he messed up a universe into this appearance. What? How can this be done? All the planets seem to be unsuitable for ordinary 4.4 people to live in. Trunks said solemnly. If it was only him alone, survival would not be a problem. But now there are dozens of ordinary humans, including Xiao Wu. Keelan also had a sad expression on his face. Although he thought of a way just now, he didn't dare to say it. Because that way might make gods of destruction Beerus punish them. The current Goten is no match for gods of destruction Beerus. How about? You can follow me to live in our time and space. Everyone has lived on the Earth for decades, and it is estimated that even if they find other planets, they will not be able to get used to it for a while. After struggling for a moment, Son Goten said to Trunks. Although this may cause the space-time chaos that Whis refers to, there is no better way at present. Moreover, his own time and space also needed fighters like Trunks. Is this okay? Won't it bother you? Trunks asked. After all, they do not belong to that time and space. Won't. You in that time and space have been killed in the Cell game, and now you are in the past. Aunt Bulma should be very happy. Son Goten shook his head and said. Although Beerus seems to be having a hard time going through that level, he has already figured out how to deal with it. It's so good. Really, thank you, Goten. Thank you. Trunks looked at Goten excitedly. Goten, at this point, feels like a reborn parent to all of them. And the survivors behind Trunks were all extremely happy. Seeing this kind of picture, Son Goten is actually very happy in his heart. There is an indescribable sense of accomplishment. Chapter 77. Okay, the time machine can take up to 4 or 5 people at a time, so everyone must be picked up in batches. That's up to you, Trunks. But because we have other things to do, we must be sent there first. Son Goten looked at the dozens of people behind Trunks, and then spoke. If only instant transmission could time travel. It's a pity that it doesn't work, so everyone can only be picked up in batches. Well, yes, Goten. Trunks nodded quickly. It is a blessing in misfortune that everyone can survive. As for returning to the past time and space a few days earlier or a few days later, no one will care. The first ones to go back were of course Son Goten, Keelan, Trunks and Xiao Wu. And back to the capsule company. Bulma was very excited when he heard that Trunks could live in this time and space. Because the Trunks of this plane died 8 years ago. And I only saw him for 1 day a month ago. After seeing it, I missed it even more. It would be a great thing if the big special in front of her could be by her side. Subsequently, Bulma also began to study time energy vigorously. Trunks also ran back and forth at both ends, and began to pick up all the other survivors. Goten, are we going back to Gods of Destruction now? After Zamasu's matter was resolved, Krillin asked. In fact, he still wants to return to the Gods of Destruction world, because under the training of Angel Whis, his strength has indeed improved a little faster. After all, that guy is an old monster that has lived for hundreds of millions of years. Moreover, he is a real god, so the training method he guides can naturally get twice the result with half the effort. Well, let's go back. So many people traveling through time and space at the same time, this is actually a big deal. Master Beerus must be told. Son Goten nodded and spoke. There must be a minimum of respect between people. And what gods of destruction Beerus hates most is people who lack the respect he deserves. Now that I tell him this matter, Beerus may not be too angry. But if he found out on his own initiative, then the situation may be 16 points not so good. Before leaving, Son Goten went back to Baozi Mountain. He told Chi-Chi and Vital that he was going to practice in the Gods of Destruction world. After all, if they go for too long, they will inevitably worry. Although very reluctant, Chi-Chi still agreed. Because they all know that Goten is the hope of this earth. Only when he becomes strong enough can he face any crisis. The world of Gods of Destruction last time left them with lingering fears. If the next enemy is stronger and more ferocious than Gods of Destruction, the earth is in danger. After leaving Steamed Bun Mountain, Son Goten brought Keelan to the Gods of Destruction realm through instant transmission. Whis was not surprised that Son Goten was able to find the location of the God realm and arrived there in an instant. Because Son Goten used the instant transmission ability when he was fighting Lord Beerus before. As an angel, it is naturally impossible for such things to escape his attention. Goten, what you're doing is too dangerous. It actually brought people from other time and space to this time. Do you know that such an approach may bring a devastating blow to this time and space? Apparently, Whis already knew about Son Goten bringing the trunks over. Then, he said with a serious face. Although the possibility of such a thing happening is extremely low. Because the strength of trunks is really average, but it is not impossible. And since the moment the trunks appeared in this time and space, to be precise, a parallel time and space has been born. I know, but the time and space of trunks and them is now uninhabitable. If you leave them in that time and space, they will only die. I'll explain this to Lord Beerus. Son Goten also nodded seriously. In fact, the trunks in the future time and space have always been soldiers he likes and admires very much. So naturally I don't want to watch Trunks wait for death in a desperate time and space. And this time and space is too short of fighters. I hope Lord Beerus will listen to your explanation. Originally, I wanted to train you as the next Gods of Destruction of the 7th universe, but now it seems that you are not suitable for the position of Gods of Destruction. Whis said lightly. He had indeed always had this idea before. Cultivate Son Goten as the new Gods of Destruction of the 7th universe. But now it seems that Son Goten is still too kind. It is estimated that a kind-hearted person is very difficult to be qualified for the position of Gods of Destruction. Maybe. Son Goten just smiled faintly. In fact, he had no idea about the location of Gods of Destruction. It won't take long for his strength to completely surpass Gods of Destruction. At that time, it will be just a false title, and I don't care at all. More importantly, Gods of Destruction is really strong at this stage. It can even be said to be the most cutting-edge existence. But Son Goten is very clear that there are many people stronger than Gods of Destruction in this world. The angel in front of him has strength far surpassing that of Gods of Destruction. And on top of Angel, there's the Grand Priest, Zeno's guards, and Zeno himself. Those guys are real superpowers, possessing the strength to destroy a universe with a single thought. And above Zeno, I don't know if there is any more outrageous existence. Okay, let's continue training. Looking at Trunks' determined expression, Whis didn't want to waste time on this matter either. Because Angel is always in a neutral position. Although the Angel's status is higher than the Gods of Destruction, they can't do anything. All matters can only be decided by Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus. Then a few people started training. In this way, time goes by day. Trunks went back and forth more than a dozen times, and finally took all the survivors to this time and space. After seeing the long-lost Earth, everyone also burst into tears. And on the 8th day, Gods of Destruction Beerus finally woke up. Because in 2 days, it will be time to compete with the 6th universe. Aha! Beerus stretched and walked out of his temple. Then Whis is seen training Son Goten and Kling in fighting techniques. The three fought non-stop. Either way, neither of them can hit Whis. After all, this guy's normal state is the perfect Ultra Instinct form. Even Son Goten now has the power to match some of Gods of Destruction. But in front of Angel Whis, it was still not worth mentioning. After training for a few minutes, the three stopped fighting. because their sparring has lasted for a full 6 hours. Sun Goten was already sweating profusely. However, Klin, who is an artificial human with infinite energy, did not have any decline in physical fitness at this time. Perhaps this is the benefit of man-made humans. Still can't comprehend the perfect ultra instinct. But fortunately, after these days of training with Whis, my strength has also been greatly improved. After the fight stopped, Keelan also said to himself. It seems that with his talent, he really can't comprehend ultra instinct. That kind of divine realm is really too unfathomable. In the battle with Whis, Sun Goten seemed to understand ultra instinct more and more exquisitely. Because he has mastered the ultra instinct mega. Therefore, the understanding of ultra instinct is much deeper than that of ordinary people. Hey, Master Beerus has woken up. I thought I'd oversleep again this time. Whis looked up at Beerus, who was watching the battle, and said in surprise. Master Beerus woke up after only sleeping for 400 tacks this time, which is really unexpected. The time of 400 tacks is equivalent to 8 days on the earth. You know, Master Beerus would sleep for 50 years for a normal nap. It seems that he attaches great importance to the game against the 6th universe this time. This is related to his face, and whether he can mock Champa in the future. Clearly he cares. Hey Whis, how are these two guys training? How have they progressed during this time? Beerus jumped up and appeared in front of Sun Goten and the others. Then he asked lightly, Master Beerus, both of them have trained very well, and their perseverance is also very firm. Klin's strength has improved very well. As for Goten, the improvement is even greater, he is now infinitely close to the perfect ultra instinct. Whis replied with a smile. I have to say that Goten's training speed is really amazing. In just a few days, I have gone from an imperfect ultra instinct to a perfect ultra instinct. This kind of powerful comprehension ability, even if it is 12 gods of destruction, I am afraid it is beyond the reach. That's really good. Although Beerus was very calm on the surface. But I was still very surprised. Sun Goten's strength is very strong. More than a month ago, he had almost 1/10 of his power. And now they will master the perfect ultra instinct. If he is given a period of time to grow, maybe his strength will surpass his own. A human being can surpass gods of destruction. This was something he had never thought of before. Master Beerus, Goten seems to have something to tell you. After Whis said to Beerus, he glanced at Sun Goten again. Apparently, he was referring to the trunks thing. Although Goten said before that he would explain it to Master Beerus. But as an angel, it is still my duty to remind Lord Beerus after this kind of thing happens. Oh, what's the matter? Tell me. Beerus looked at Sun Goten and asked. Forehead. All right, Master Beerus, it's like this. For a minute, Sun Goten told Beerus roughly what happened in the future. Then take yourself to Trunks and they come back all the same. Tell the truth. Nani. Boy, do you know that traveling through time and space at will is a felony? And you brought so many people here at this time, it seems that you don't take my gods of destruction seriously at all. Beerus was taken aback for a moment, then an angry expression appeared on his face. Although he usually doesn't like to pay attention to what happens in the universe. But traveling through time and space at will is expressly forbidden. Master Beerus, the source of this incident is God's fault. This would not have happened if Supreme Kai Zamasu, a candidate for the 10th universe, hadn't randomly destroyed the planet where humans live. Besides, if I remember correctly, Supreme Kai has no right to destroy planets. Sun Goten also said with a serious face. In this matter, God was indeed at fault first. You're right, even Supreme Kai doesn't have the right to destroy planets. It's just a trainee Supreme Kai, how dare he do such a thing? And in the future time and space, they actually killed all the Supreme Kai and gods of destruction. Beerus clenched his fists tightly, obviously very angry. Because according to what Sun Goten said just now, the candidate for the 10th universe, Supreme Kai Zamasu, not only destroyed a large number of planets, but also slaughtered hundreds of millions of humans. And actually killed all the Supreme Kai, let gods of destruction 200 also die. More importantly, even I didn't avoid it. This is absolutely unforgivable thing. Besides, Master Beerus, for our match against the 6th universe this time, apart from me and Klin, the number of the other 3 players has not yet been determined. It is estimated that it will be difficult to find stronger fighters for a while. Trunks is very strong and can just replace our 7th universe in the battle. Son Goten also continued to speak. He did not name Majin Buu. This is to create pressure on Beerus. Because there are not many nations with fighting blood in the 7th universe. And now there are only 2 days left before the game against the 6th universe. There are still 3 players who have not been finalized, and Beerus must be anxious. Is that so? Beerus froze for a moment, then asked quickly. Although traveling through time and space is a felony. But in his opinion, it's not as important as playing against that guy Champa. But this time the game lost to the 6th universe, that dead fat pig of Champa will definitely use this matter to mock himself for a long time. Yes, Lord Beerus. Whis could only nod his head. There are indeed not many fighters in the 7th universe. Otherwise, a few decades ago, such a small Frieza could not have been called the Emperor of the universe. Cut. Beerus frowned slightly, since there are still 3 players short. And at this moment, he didn't know where to look for it. Looking around, Beerus seemed to have a very good idea. Then he said to Son Goten with a serious face, Son Goten, traveling through time and space is indeed a felony. It stands to reason that your actions like this will be destroyed by me. But now I give you a chance to make up for your mistakes. As long as you find all 5 contestants in the next 2 days, and then successfully win the match against the 6th universe, I can handle the matter of your traveling through time and space. Never blame. Of course, besides that, you have to prepare me the best food on earth. After finishing speaking, he was still a little nervous and glanced at Son Goten. I'm afraid this guy will refuse. Will I really want to destroy Son Goten by then? This guy is a rare genius in the 7th universe in a million years. And a very good opponent. If you destroy him, you will have no opponent if you want to fight in the future. Okay, I promise you. Son Goten nodded without hesitation. He knew it was Beerus who had stepped him down. So I don't know what to do. Moreover, it was relatively easy for 7th universe to select 5 fighters. Besides, as long as he is there, he will not lose the game against the 6th universe. Good. Then, follow me to the 1st universe. That mere trainee Supreme Kai dared to do such a thing, I will destroy him now. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Chapter 78. Beerus really wanted to teach Supreme Kai, the overconfident trainee from 10th universe, a lesson. It's just a trainee Supreme Kai who dares to kill gods. This kind of thing is absolutely unforgivable. Although it wasn't made by Zamasu in this time and space. But he also has such dangers. If you let him live, maybe you will also be threatened. This guy's thinking is too scary. And more importantly, that guy seems to be able to use his brain, so this threat must be completely wiped out in the cradle. Whis, hurry up and take us there. Then Beerus gave an order to Whis. Okay, Master Beerus. Whis could only nod quickly. It seems that after going to the 10th universe, some bad things are bound to happen. But please don't meet Lord Rumshi, the gods of destruction of the 10th universe, because the gods of destruction that Lord Rumshi hates the most is Lord Beerus. As long as the 2 of them meet, there will be no good results. The distance between the 2 universes is still very far away. Especially in the case of this non-equivalent universe, the distance is even more distant. It took 3 or 4 hours for the 4 of them to reach the 10th universe. And at this time in the Supreme Kai world of the 10th universe. At this time, trainee Supreme Kai Zamasu is making tea with Supreme Kai Kavas. Zamasu, your tea-making skills seem to have regressed. Since the last time you went to Planet Bibble, your concentration seems to be much worse than before. With your current mentality, you can't hold the position of Supreme Kai. Vas looked at the turbid tea in front of him, and said to Zamasu in a solemn tone. Zamasu is his most proud disciple, but also the most talented disciple. His comprehension ability is very strong, which also makes him stand out among all Supreme Kai candidates. Became the designated Supreme Kai candidate. He used to be really good. The brewed tea is also crystal clear. But since the last time he went to Planet Bibble, Zamasu's mentality seems to have changed. The brewed tea is no longer crystal clear. And every time he discusses human problems, he is always very impatient. Sometimes I argue with myself. There always seems to be a very big prejudice against humans. This is not the mentality that a Supreme Kai should have, so at the moment he is also very worried about Zamasu's state. It's Master Supreme Kai, I will keep my teachings in mind. Zamasu nodded immediately, but there was a sinister look in his eyes. For Supreme Kai Kavas, he is indeed very respectful. But since the last time I went to the planet Bibble and saw those creatures that killed each other, he was disgusted by the selfishness, stupidity and deep disgust of those creatures. At the same time, it also made him feel that such a selfish and stupid creature is simply not qualified to live on that beautiful land. Because of the existence of those selfish creatures, the originally beautiful universe has become filthy. Only when those stupid and selfish creatures completely disappear will the world return to its original beauty. This is a great plan, and it is slowly beginning to germinate in his heart. That is the plan to clear humanity. Only by exterminating all those stupid creatures can the universe be restored to its most perfect state. The appearance of those stupid creatures just shows the failure of the gods. Since it is God's failure, it is up to oneself to end it. Thoroughly cleanse this world defiled by those filthy creatures. Zamasu, please remember that our duty as Supreme Kai is to maintain the peace and stability of this universe and guide the creatures on those planets to a better future. Kavas took a sip of tea, then spit it out immediately, and said to Zamasu in a heartfelt tone. Zamasu is his most proud disciple, and he does not want his disciple to go astray in the future. Because there is only one consequence of doing that. It was completely destroyed by Lord Gods of Destruction Rumshi. With all due respect, Kavas hits people. The creatures we saw on the Bibir planet before, they are so selfish and stupid. Actually, if you want to restore the beauty of this universe, you only need to completely eliminate those stupid creatures. Zamasu lowered his head, with a fierce killing intent in his eyes, and said to Gevas. Those stupid creatures, it is impossible to change them just by verbal teachings. The best and most direct way is to kill them completely. Rebuild a piece of the most beautiful pure land. After hearing this, Gevas's face changed suddenly. At the same time, a little anger was also revealed. He shouted loudly, Zamasu, it seems that you don't take my teachings to heart at all. I told you a long time ago that destroying the planet is the responsibility of gods of destruction, not what we Supreme Kai should do. If you continue to maintain this mentality, then I can only reluctantly replace you. It seems that there has been a big problem with Zamasu's Xinsheng. If it is not corrected in time, there will definitely be a big disaster at that time. After hearing the threat of Kavas, Zamasu cast a glance at Kavas. In those eyes, there is endless killing intent. To him, these Supreme Kais are just too stupid and stubborn. It is precisely because of the existence of such failed gods that human beings are so unscrupulous. Stupidity, greed, selfishness have polluted this planet. In the final analysis, it is the consequence of these cowardly gods. Yes, I remember, Master Kavas. Although there was a killing intent in his eyes, Wei Masi nodded quickly. Before becoming the real Supreme Kai, he has no ability to change the world. But there is no need for cowardly gods to exist. At this moment, a crazy plan was quickly formed in my heart. This plan, of course, is to sacrifice his Master Quaz. Whizzing. Just then, suddenly several cracking sounds sounded out of thin air. Both Kavas and Zamasu looked up sharply. 4 figures have appeared in front of them. Master Beerus. After seeing the person in front of him, Gevas suddenly showed a surprised expression on his face. Because the one walking in the front is none other than Gods of Destruction Beerus of the 7th universe. It's just that he doesn't understand. Master Beerus is the Gods of Destruction of the 7th universe, how could he run to the Supreme Kai realm of the 10th universe? This is something that hasn't happened in tens of millions of years. Then he looked at the 2 people behind Beerus. The 2 of them seemed to be human. Why do humans follow Gods of Destruction Beerus? And when Zamasu saw Sun Goten and Keelan, the hatred and killing intent in his eyes became more and more fierce. Dirty human beings dare to set foot on the sacred Holy Land. This is a great defilement of the Holy Land. But those 2 guys followed Beerus the Destroyer, and he dared not speak out at the moment. Once he offended the Gods of Destruction, he knew exactly what would happen. Master Beerus, do you have any advice from the Supreme Kai world of my 10th universe? After a moment of surprise, Gevas immediately stood up respectfully and asked. although the opponent is the gods of destruction of the seventh universe. But for gods of destruction, still have to maintain due awe. I'm here for him. Beerus pointed to Zamasu and said calmly. For Zamasu. Why is that? Gebas looked puzzled. Zamasu is just their supreme Kai candidate for the 10th universe. There seems to be no conflict with Master Beerus. It's like they haven't even met each other. Why did Master Beerus go to the 10th universe to find Zamasu? Because of this guy, in other time and space, he slaughtered humans crazily and destroyed the planet. In some other future, this guy killed all the supreme Kais and gods of destruction. And hundreds of millions of souls died at his hands. Others have nothing to do with me, but it is absolutely unforgivable that this guy dares to make up my mind. Beerus said in a very indifferent tone. It seems that while speaking, Zamasu's death sentence has been pronounced. How? How is this possible? Zamasu was always by my side and never left at all. It is absolutely impossible for him to go to some future time and space to kill Supreme Kai and gods of destruction. Gebas immediately opened his mouth to defend. Although in the recent period he found that Zamasu's mentality did have a problem. Has a great hatred for humans. But he was always by his side and never left. There's no chance of doing the things Miss Beerus said. Zamasu from another time and space did it. But such a threat, I must kill it in the cradle. Also. You old guy, when you choose your heir next time, can you brighten your eyes? After Beerus finished speaking, he stretched out his right hand domineeringly and aimed at Zamasu. Master Beerus, please be merciful. I didn't do anything at all, why did you do this to me? Zamasu also looked confused, although he really wanted to destroy all humans just now. And these weak and incompetent gods don't need to exist anymore. But this is just a thought in his heart, and he has no action at all. I don't even know where to start this kind of plan. It would be too unfair to be killed like this. Yes, Lord Beerus. Zamasu hasn't done anything yet, and what happened in the future time and space you mentioned has nothing to do with Zamasu now. Gebas also hurriedly spoke. As the most proud disciple, he treats Zamasu like his own child. Now my own child is going to be killed by gods of destruction. This is absolutely unacceptable to him. Stupid old bastard, can't he be sanctioned until he kills everyone? Sorry, I don't have that kind of patience. Beerus said coldly. Although this guy is a trainee Supreme Kai from 10th universe, killing such a guy won't affect him in any way. Even if Rumshi is here, this guy must die. Destroy. In the next second, an indifferent voice came out of Beerus' throat. Ah ah ah. With a shrill scream, Zamasu's body directly turned into a purple spot of light. Then disappeared without a trace. A threat like a poisonous snake must be killed in the cradle as soon as possible. Zamasu. Seeing Zamasu disappear in front of him in an instant, Kavas was very angry, but there was nothing he could do. Because the opponent is gods of destruction. Snort. Let's go. After destroying Zamasu easily, Beerus turned to leave. I feel a little better than before. Just when they were about to leave. A voice also sounded from behind in an instant. Bastard Beerus, in my universe, do you want to leave so easily after killing someone? You don't take me seriously. The moment the sound fell, Sun Goten and Beerus hurriedly looked back. Appearing in sight, it is gods of destruction Rumshi and Angel Kessie from the 10th universe. Beerus, you're a little too arrogant. How dare you kill the Supreme Kai candidate of the 10th universe in the 10th universe? Rumshi stared at Beerus coldly, and said loudly. Among the 12 gods of destruction, the guy he hates the most is Beerus. Now this guy is so arrogant that he directly comes to the 10th universe to kill people. He absolutely can't bear this kind of thing. HMPH. How about the people on your universe? This guy killed all the Supreme Kai and gods of destruction in the future. If Master Zeno and Grand Priest know about this matter, you may be overwhelmed. Beerus said coldly without any fear. Actually, he has a bad relationship with all the gods of destruction. So there is no need to give face to the other party at all. That's just your side of the story. Since you killed someone in the 10th universe, then you must pay the due price. The two humans next to you should be your apprentices. Then Zamasu's life will be repaid by the two of them. Gods of destruction Rumshi instantly locked his eyes on Sun Goten and Krillin. In fact, he doesn't care about a Supreme Kai candidate at all. If you die, you will die, just find another one. But this guy Beerus is really deceiving people too much. Killing the Supreme Kai candidate in the 10th universe's Supreme Kai realm certainly slapped him in the face. Also, as a candidate for Supreme Kai, how can he endure such humiliation? Although the gods of destruction cannot fight among themselves, nor can the gods of destruction be killed. But the two humans beside Beerus should have a good relationship with Beerus. Then take it out on them both. Yeah, do you think you have the qualifications to kill people in front of me, Qian Zhao Zhao? In the face of Rumshi's threat, Beerus simply dismissed it. Then he said contemptuously, he is not afraid of any gods of destruction at all. If they fight alone, none of them are their opponents. In particular, Rumshi's combat power is only 10 points stronger than Shang Fatty's. Such a character has no ability to kill in front of himself. Rumshi didn't speak. Instead, he rushed directly towards Beerus in the next second. As the gods of destruction, although he may not be as strong as Beerus, he is also ridiculously strong. His fat body didn't restrict his speed, instead he was as fast as lightning. Almost instantly, his body appeared in front of Beerus. Then the body jumped up high. Then, like a meteorite, it smashed towards Beerus. HMPH. Overwhelmed fool. Beerus snorted coldly. Blast out with a punch directly to meet him. Boom. The moment the two people's heads collided, a huge shock wave spread instantly. The bodies of Supreme Kai Jivas and Klin were directly sent flying by the shock wave. Ah! Taking this opportunity, Rumshi roared directly. This is no ordinary roar, but a special skill of Rumshi. He can use this roar to unleash a huge energy attack. This kind of energy attack can temporarily paralyze the opponent's motor nerves, making him temporarily lose the ability to fight. The closer you get to the Rumshi, the stronger this power becomes. Because it was too close, Beerus lost the ability to move in an instant. Then Rumshi turned his head directly to target Sun Goten and punched out. HMPH. Do you think I'm being taken advantage of? Your wishful thinking is wrong. Seeing that Rumshi actually targeted himself, Sun Goten snorted coldly. Then it instantly changed into the form of Xuanchao Saiyan 2. A punch hit Rumshi. Boom. Rumble. The moment the fists of the two collided, Rumshi's body was directly thrown back by the punch. Chapter 79. Thump thump thump. At this time, Sun Goten's body also retreated 6 or 7 steps backwards. But gods of destruction Rumshi did burst out tens of meters directly. Rustle. After transforming into the legendary Super Saiyan 2 form, the terrifying grass-green arrogance surged crazily around the body. The powerful golden lightning crackled even more. At this moment, Sun Goten stared closely at gods of destruction Rumshi with his long and narrow eyes. What? This? How is it possible? Lord Rumshi. Sun Goten's move not only repulsed gods of destruction Rumshi, but also surprised Angel in a moment of disbelief. You must know that Master Rumshi is the gods of destruction of the 10th universe, but unexpectedly, he was punched back by a human from the 7th universe. Not to mention whether Master Rumshi used all his strength just now, even 10% of the power is not something a human can catch. What's more, it also knocked Lord Rumshi back. This matter, absolutely no human being in the 10th universe can do it. But the human being in the 7th universe did it easily. What's more, he bumped a fist with Master Rumshi, and that guy just took a few steps back. Good. Awesome. Is this really a human from the 7th universe? They actually have the power of gods of destruction. It's unbelievable. Supreme Kai Guas was also instantly dumbfounded. You know, in their minds, the gods of destruction civilization is the supreme existence. Absolutely not any human being can compare. But just now, the human from the 7th universe actually punched Master Rumshi back. More importantly, Lord Rumshi's roar just now didn't seem to have any deterrent effect on him. This is outrageous. This is definitely something Supreme Kai has never encountered in his millions of years of doing it. Snort. I don't care if you are gods of destruction or what. It's best not to pinch me as a persimmon, and the only one who will suffer will be yourself. After knocking Rumshi away with a punch, Sun Goten spoke lightly. His eyes were as cold as ice. In his eyes, the current gods of destruction is no longer omnipotent and invincible. Except for the most powerful gods of destruction, he is not afraid of other gods of destruction at all. And now he has already mastered destruction. So even if it is a real battle with gods of destruction, it is not certain who will win the battle. No. Impossible. It's just a mere human being in the seventh universe. How could it be possible to have such a powerful force area? And this power is obviously not taught to him by Beerus or Angel Whis in 880. Are you kidding me? When did such a powerful human appear in the seventh universe? Rumshi was also completely dumbfounded. Originally, he thought he could kill that human with one blow. After all, he used 70% of his strength for that punch just now. But I didn't expect it to be like this. In other words, even if he uses all his strength, he may not be able to kill that human being. This is simply outrageous. Not to mention everyone from the 10th universe. Even Beerus himself had an unbelievable look on his face. Then an incredulous gaze was fixed on Son Goten. Are you kidding me? After just over a month of training, my strength has actually improved to this level. Although Rumshi is not the most powerful gods of destruction, it is too exaggerated to be able to knock him back with one punch. Beerus thought secretly in surprise. When he fought Son Goten a month ago, this guy definitely wasn't this strong. Only after training with Whis for a month, he has strength comparable to Rumshi. Even in terms of strength alone, it is very likely that he has surpassed Rumshi. It seems that this kid is not only a genius, but also a monster. If it is an ordinary human being, how could it be possible to have such a terrifying cultivation speed? But soon, Beerus set his sights on Rumshi. Then he said proudly, "Cut. Gods of destruction of the 10th universe actually used such a dirty sneak attack method to sneak attack my disciple. What's more, you were knocked back by a single punch. You're really useless, Rumshi." Naturally, he would not waste this opportunity to humiliate Rumshi in vain. Cluck. Gods of destruction. Rums gritted his teeth angrily. But he couldn't say a word of rebuttal. Because what he did just now was indeed a bit despicable. First, he briefly frightened Beerus with his roar. Then he tried to kill the human from the 7th universe by means of a sneak attack. But unexpectedly, this happened. It can be said that if you steal a chicken, you will lose a lot of rice, and you will lose your wife and lose your army. Shut up, you stinky cat. So what if I'm despicable? You killed the trainee Supreme Kai in my 10th universe's Supreme Kai world, isn't that despicable? No matter what, I won't let you leave the 10th universe easily. Rumshi's face was full of anger. After an angry roar, he charged directly at Beerus again. If you let Beerus leave the 10th universe like this today, how will you save your face in the future? If the gods of destruction of other universes knew about this matter, they would definitely laugh at it. Cut. Is it? I can't even beat an ordinary apprentice of mine, and I want to be my opponent. It seems that I need to teach you a good lesson to make you realize the reality. Beerus also clenched his fists, stretched his neck, and said dismissively. Even if 2 or 3 gods of destruction teamed up, he wouldn't take it seriously. Not to mention Rumshi alone. Whizzing. The bodies of the 2 people flashed out in an instant. It's just that the moment the fists were about to collide, Angel Whis and Kessie appeared in the middle of the 2 at the same time. Then a finger easily blocked the fists of the 2. Master Beerus, have you forgotten the prohibition against fighting among the gods of destruction? Whis said lightly. Master Rumshi, your actions will cause the 2 universes to begin to collapse. When the time comes, Master Zeno and Grand Priest will blame you, and no one will be able to escape. Kessie also looked at Rumshi and said, the previous kind of confrontation will not have any impact on universe. But once the gods of destruction of the 2 universes fight to the death, the universe will gradually begin to collapse. Therefore, the battle between the gods of destruction is also expressly forbidden by Lord Zeno and Lord Grand Priest. Cut it. It seems to clean up this shameless guy. Beerus grinned. He is not afraid of any gods of destruction than fighting. At this time, the gods of destruction Rumshi of the 10th universe is as uncomfortable as eating a fly. Obviously it was gods of destruction Beerus who provoked first. He can't punish this guy now. Giggle. Beerus, don't get too carried away. I will definitely report this matter to Lord Zeno, and see if you can still go crazy by then. Now that the 2 angels made a move to stop it, it was obviously impossible to continue fighting. But in 10th universe killed their 10th universe trainee Supreme Kai. This thing will definitely not play. He must report to Master Zeno. Punish this arrogant Beerus well. Yeah, that will just let Master Zeno know what your trainee Supreme Kai from the 10th universe has done in the future time and space. Beerus wasn't panicking either. After all, it was Zamasu who made the mistake first. A mere trainee Supreme Kai dares to travel gods of destruction duty. And also killed all Supreme Kai and gods of destruction in 12 universes. Once Master Zeno finds out about this kind of thing, it is very likely that the 10th universe will disappear completely. Among the laws of God, Master Zeno has clearly stated, no human being or low-level god can destroy a high-level god. Even if it was accidental or a fluke, as long as the high-level gods were eliminated, they would either be wiped out on the spot, or be completely imprisoned in the landless world. After hearing Beerus' words, Rumshi's expression darkened. If what Beerus said is true, then Zamasu sure be damned. And if Master Zeno finds out about this matter, his fate will not be very good. I don't know what the hell this guy, Gevas, is doing to cultivate such a thing. Whis, let's go. Seeing Rumshi's gloomy face, Beerus said directly to Whis. He knew that today's fight would definitely be impossible. Yes, Lord Beerus BGDI. Whis nodded. If they stay in the 10th universe again, maybe the two of them will fight again. Hey, that human. What you did just now has shamed gods of destruction, so be on guard at all times. Because this matter will never end easily. Maybe knowing that there's no way to threaten Beerus. Gods of destruction. Rumshi stared at Son Goten and said. If you can't solve gods of destruction by yourself, can't you solve a human being from the 7th universe? Although this guy has super strength. Even with full firepower, he might not be able to defeat this guy. But the reason why gods of destruction is because of mastering the rules and regulations in a universe. This power can kill any creature in the universe. And killing such a human being, Master Zeno and the others would simply ignore it. Huh. Threatening me. Sorry, your threat doesn't do anything to me. And I don't think you have the ability and qualifications to threaten me. Son Goten raised the corner of his mouth, and said with a cold snort. If he hadn't fought Beerus before, he would have been more afraid of gods of destruction's destructive ability. But now he also possesses destructive energy. Under such circumstances, gods of destruction's destructive ability has no effect on him. Even if Rumshi personally went to the 7th universe to kill himself, the chance of success is only 10%. You may even be killed by yourself. The legendary Super Saiyan blood will become stronger in battle. Yeah, then just wait. Rumshi could only grit his teeth and say. This damn human from the 7th universe seems to be more annoying than the bastard from Gods of Destruction. It's so fearless. So no matter what, I must solve him. Lose. Cut. Shameless stuff. If an accident happens to Son Goten, I will make you pay the heaviest price. After hearing Rumshi's threat, Beerus immediately narrowed his eyes slightly, bursting out a cold light, and said to Rumshi. Then the three left the 10th universe under the leadership of Whis. As for the gods of destruction, Rumshi, his body trembled directly from the anger. In my own universe, to be so humiliated by that bastard Beerus. This matter will definitely not end like this. Otherwise, what he did in Gods of Destruction is too lame. Then it was a scolding to Supreme Kai Quaz. And he can vent his anger. After venting, he had no choice but to return to his Gods of Destruction world. Then think about how to deal with that arrogant Beerus and that damned human. At this time, more than 2 hours later, Son Goten and Beerus had returned to the 7th universe. Master Beerus, he offended Lord Rumshi this time, it seems that he will not easily forget about it. While flying, Whis said lightly to the back. Lord Rumshi is also a small-minded Gods of Destruction. Having suffered such humiliation today, he will definitely find ways to take revenge. HMPH. Do you think I'll take him to heart? Even if there are 3 more guys like this, it's not enough for me to fight. Beerus raised his chin arrogantly and said with disdain. Yet it is true. After all, there is still a big gap in strength between Rumshi and Beerus. Master Beerus, of course I won't worry. But Master Rumshi said before that he would take revenge on Goten, this is not a joke. Whis continued. Although Goten is strong, but if the Gods of Destruction is at full strength, he will still be unbeatable. Cut. Then pay close attention to that guy's whereabouts. Once he enters the scope of our 7th universe, let me know immediately. Beerus pouted, and said to Whis. Son Goten is the human he admires the most, and will certainly be a very good opponent in the future. So he will never allow Son Goten to be born. Yes, Lord Beerus. Whis just nodded. As for Son Goten, Rumsshi was never taken seriously. Let's not talk about whether he dares to come to the 7th universe to cause trouble. Even if he came, he didn't have the ability to kill himself. Then, shall we return to the God realm? Or go to Earth? Whis asked next. He hasn't been to the Earth for several days, and it's time to buy some more goods. Go back to Earth. Let me go see that guy who travels through time and space at will, and let Son Goten fulfill his previous promise by the way. Beerus said lightly. In fact, he no longer cares about traveling through time and space. As long as Master Zeno and the others don't find out, there will be no problem. The main purpose of the Earth, naturally, is to taste some gourmet food. This is something Son Goten promised him before. Okay. Whis nodded happily. After another half an hour, the 4 of them came to the Earth and went directly to the capsule company. Trunks are training in the front yard. And here has been well improved by Bulma. So in general training, the energy wave will not spread out at all. Therefore, it will not disturb other people in the city, nor will it cause damage to the building. Whoosh whoosh. Son Goten et al. Popped up. Trunks also quickly stopped training. Goten, Mr. Kling. These two are. Trunks hurriedly greeted Son Goten and Keelan with a smile. Then he looked at Beerus and Whis with some doubts. Judging by their attire, they obviously don't look like Earthlings. And he couldn't feel any breath from the bodies of the 2 of them at all. Let me introduce you to Trunks. This is Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus, and this is Mr. Whis, who can be regarded as our 2 masters. Son Goten also introduced Trunks immediately. By the way, the reason why you can stay in this time and space is mainly because of Master Beerus' tolerance. It's obvious what he meant. He just wanted Trunks to thank Beerus and tout a few words by the way. After all, Beerus is a soft-boiled guy. He prefers the kind of people who respect him and fear him. And it just so happens that Trunks is such a character. Chapter 80. After hearing Son Goten's explanation, Trunks immediately bowed 90 degrees to Beerus. That expression was extremely devout and grateful. Master Beerus, thank you very much, thank you for taking us in. The tone and demeanor are very good. Seeing Trunks' pious tone and attitude, Beerus raised his eyebrows slightly. Originally, I wanted to come here to scare this guy. But if you do this for yourself now, you won't be able to fix him by then. Such a pious attitude and respectful tone made it impossible for him to curse and threaten. Forget it, this matter is mainly for the sake of Son Goten and the food of the earth. After hesitating for a moment, Beerus waved his hand directly. Anyway, he doesn't care about it anymore. The guy in front of him has such a good attitude of admitting his mistakes, so this matter is over. Thank you, Master Beerus. Quote, Trunks once again respectfully thank you. I also have some doubts in my heart. Because he had heard from his mother before that Gods of Destruction Beerus is a god of very ferocious wolves. His favorite thing to do is killing and destroying. Therefore, he was also very frightened these few days. But the Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus in front of him seems to be completely different from what his mother said. That's too easy to talk about, right? With a few simple words of thanks, I directly forgave myself for the felony of traveling through time and space. Compared with the previous Black Goku, this is simply the friendliest god in the world. At this time, after hearing the movement, Bulma also came out of the room. Seeing Beerus' cat face, Bulma was still a little scared. After all, this guy almost killed Goten before, and destroyed the entire Earth. Now Trunks travels through time and space again. According to what Goten said before, this approach is actually a crime of time and space. Hey Son Goten, have you forgotten what you promised me earlier? I can no longer pursue the matter of that kid traveling through time and space at will. But you have to bring out the best food on Earth and let me taste it. Beerus glanced at Son Goten, and then said impatiently. It has been days since I tasted the delicacies of the Earth. To be honest, I really miss it. Food. Everyone, please wait a moment, I will order people to prepare. Soon. Bulma was stunned for a moment, and then quickly said to everyone. He knew beforehand that Gods of Destruction Beerus and that Whis are typical foodies. There seems to be a soft spot for the food of the earth. It seems that this time they don't pursue the matter of trunks. On the one hand, it is because of Goten's face. On the other hand, it is estimated that it is also for the food of the earth. 10 minutes later, the servants in Bulma's house brought a large table and it was all right. The color and fragrance are delicious, Beerus and Whis are mouth-watering. Of course, son Goten felt his stomach growling too. When I was practicing in the Gods of Destruction world, I almost never had enough to eat every day. The Whis guy would hide most of the food and only give him and Kling a small amount of food. In the words of Whis, eating too much is not conducive to training. It's all for their own good. Several people ate for 3 hours. The dishes on the table are also changed batch after batch. Beerus and Whis are foodies themselves, and their appetites are no less than those of Saiyans. Coupled with son Goten and Trunks, these few hours are estimated to eat up the lifetime income of an ordinary person. So full. It's still the best food on earth. Whis, why didn't you discover such delicious food on earth before? If you found out earlier, you wouldn't have to eat so much rubbish. Beerus leaned on the armchair, touched his stomach, and said with a satisfied face. After tasting the delicacies of the earth, recalling the food that I have eaten before, it is simply leftovers, things like garbage. Oh, didn't Lord Beerus notice it too? Whis complained. However, the cuisine of the earth is indeed delicious. In the entire 7th universe, it is estimated that there is no second planet with so many delicacies. Cut. So the earth must not be given over to the 6th universe. This time with the 6th universe, we must not lose, do you understand? Sun Li. Beerus immediately spoke seriously to son Goten. If this match with the 6th universe is lost, then the earth will belong to the 6th universe. At that time, it is estimated that I will never eat such delicious food again. Don't worry, Master Beerus. I won't lose, son Goten said with a determined face. In the 6th universe, the most powerful warrior is Hit the Killer. This guy has the strength to kill Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku and Vegeta in an instant. But my current strength is no longer comparable to that of Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku and Vegeta. It has even reached the level of Gods of Destruction. It is estimated that even Jiren is not 100% sure that he can defeat himself. Sahit is not his opponent at all. And his basic combat power is not very strong. The most outstanding and difficult to guard against, that is, his flash skills. As long as you know this matter and be careful in advance, Hit is actually very easy to deal with. That's good. Anyway, I will leave this matter to you. Beerus is once again a hands-off shopkeeper. After all, it was his favorite thing to do. A few hours later, it was almost dark. And Whis and Beerus also returned to the Gods of Destruction world. Chi-Chi and Vidal found it instead. Son Goten and Kling didn't go back. Because they still want to find the last player. Now if the 3 of them add Majin Buu, there are 4 people in total. 1 last player left. That way the 4 of them would be enough to defeat the 7th universe. But if there is 1 less person, it would be a bit too embarrassing. After thinking about it, the one who is qualified for the 5th position is Master Roshi, who is over 200 years old. Because everyone else is more ordinary. Although Vidal and Satan can be regarded as relatively powerful fighters on Earth. But it is obviously not qualified to participate in this kind of universe-level battle. Now it's either going to be Master Roshi in the game. Or go to other planets to find it. Although Frieza died a few years ago, he still has some stronger fighters under his command. At least the fighting power must be much stronger than Master Roshi. Of course, in addition to those guys from the Frieza Legion, there are also those from Sita and Granola. It's just that they can't get into Son Goten's eyes at all. Goten, besides the 4 of us, there is only 1 fighter left. Who are you going to let go? Clint asked. If Goku and Vegeta were still alive, it would be too easy to get all 5 of them. But now, even 5 warriors can't be found on the earth. If it really doesn't work, let Teacher Wu Tian participate. That is to say, to travel around, it's just a formality. With a few of us, we can win the game. Son Goten said lightly. Right now he's not worried about the match against 6th universe. Because even if he passed by himself, he would still be able to defeat the 6th universe. What he is worried about now is, after the battle with the 6th universe, will Zeno pay attention? Because in the Dragon Ball Super Original, it was because of the private competition between the 6th universe and the 7th universe that Zeno was attracted. Therefore, there will be a power conference between the whole universe. If at this time, the power tournament is also held, it's really hard to find 10 fighters for their 7th universe. In such a huge universe, even a stronger fighter can't be found. It's really ridiculous to say it. Well, that's fine too. Mr. Wushin, although his own strength is not very strong, his attainments in martial arts are not comparable to that of ordinary people. Klein nodded and said, Teacher Wu Tian told them a very philosophical sentence before. To judge the strength of a fighter, one must not only look at his energy or combat effectiveness. Instead, combine all factors. Sometimes combat skills and experience are more important than combat power and energy. How about, let Bulma make an artificial human similar to number 16. Suddenly, Keelan had an idea and said, in the competition with the 6th universe, there is no rule that artificial humans or robots should not be allowed to participate. With Dr. Gero's idea of creating an artificial human and those technologies, it should not be a problem to create an artificial human with Bulma's genius mind. Dead Klin, you think it's easy to make an artificial human? Even before, I did study the production concept and all the materials of Android 16. But even with all the materials, creating an artificial human is not a matter of overnight. In one day, it is simply impossible to manufacture it. Like Beerus whose tail was trampled, Bulma spoke immediately. Even if it is a technological genius, even if it borrows Dr. Gero's previous manufacturing concept, it is absolutely impossible to create an artificial human in one day. This is literally a joke. Hey, it's easy to fix. As long as you go to the spiritual time room to make it. 1 year is enough time for you to create an artificial human similar to number 16. Keelan smiled and continued. No, the gravity in the spiritual time room is 10 times that of the Earth, and Aunt Bulma is just an ordinary person. 10 times the force of gravity is enough to crush an average human being. Son Goten shook his head immediately. It has not yet reached the point where it is necessary to create an artificial human. And Bulma simply can't handle 10 times the force of gravity. You must know that a person who weighs 100 pounds will become 1,000 pounds in the spiritual time room. Ask for flowers. That's enough to crush an ordinary person. Hey, I'm just talking casually. Keelan could only smile awkwardly and said. Maybe he was transformed into an artificial human, so he wants a companion. Goten, why don't you count me in? Although I know that the gap between me and you is very huge. But, can't you find someone now? And during this period of time, I have already learned the control of chi, and I have almost learned the flying technique. At this moment, Vital volunteered to say. Although he knows that with his current strength, there is no possibility of them being on par with Goten. But after all, they are missing one person now, and they don't seem to be able to find them for a while. You can also recharge the number in the past. By the way, you can go to meet the powerhouses of other universes. You still don't want to participate. Although it is to recharge, your strength is too weak. Son Goten also said mercilessly. Vital is just an ordinary human being. Such a battle is simply not something he can participate in. It would be bad if you were injured in battle. All right. After hearing Son Goten's straightforward words, Vital also nodded awkwardly. Goten, speaking of it, some time ago when you were not on Earth, I participated in an academic seminar. At that conference, I met a very beautiful woman who is also a very good scientist. It's just that I've never heard of it or seen it before. 0. But maybe because I've been with you guys for too long, I always feel that that woman is not like an ordinary person. There is an unfathomable feeling. At this moment, Bulma seemed to remember something, and suddenly spoke. Just over 20 days ago, she was invited to participate in a large academic seminar. Most of those who accepted were some of the more famous scientists on Earth. Because there are not many people in this field, she basically knows most of them. There is a very beautiful woman, but she has never seen it. And the woman's intuition told her that that woman was definitely not simple. To have this feeling, maybe besides a woman's intuition, it may also be because I have been with Goku and Goten for a long time. So for those special human beings, there is a different feeling. It's just that too many things happened during this time, and she left those things behind. When Keelan talked about artificial humans just now, she thought of that woman. Unfathomable woman. Deep. Son Goten asked with some surprise. A woman who can make Bulma feel unfathomable, it must be very deep. After hearing Son Goten's words, everyone cast strange eyes. Apparently, they feel that Son Goten's words have hit the highway. Forehead. Why are you looking at me like that? I mean unfathomable. Son Goten said speechlessly. I don't know what these guys are thinking about every day. Well, anyway, I don't think it's like an ordinary person. I can't say what's wrong, but it just feels like this. Bulma answered immediately. Aunt Bulma, can you describe what that woman looks like? Because I haven't felt any strange smells on Earth these days. I didn't even feel a stronger breath. Son Goten continued to ask curiously. If the other party is special enough, then with his current perception, he must be able to feel the breath. But recently, he didn't feel any strange breath on the Earth. Although curious, it might be Bulma's heart. I think about it. The most obvious feature of her is the big brown curly hair, and she is wearing a white coat and a fancy plaid tights. Of course, she is really, really beautiful and has a perfect figure. Although I think I was very beautiful when I was young, but I must be compared with her. There are a pair of beautiful eyes like sapphires, yes, and a pair of black-rimmed glasses. Bulma is trying to recall, trying to describe all her greatest characteristics. Of course, the most notable feature of that woman is her beauty and perfect figure. And it has a cool vibe. So much so that they didn't speak at the time. Is it like this? It seems to have a familiar feeling. After hearing Bulma's description, Shuangwushan slightly raised his brows. In his mind, a figure immediately appeared. Dark brown curly hair, black glasses, perfect face and figure. Doesn't this meet all the characteristics of Android 21? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.